Grab your evoker and get ready to climb Tartarus while listening to the newest episode of Slice of Gaming Podcast for February 2nd, 2024. I am your host, Moonlight150, and we'd like to thank you for giving a slice of your time to tuning in to a Slice of Gaming Podcast. You can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Amazon Music, and now featuring iHeartRadio, CastBox, Radio Public, and Audible. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at A Slice of Gaming. So we got some big topics to talk about today. We got the wrap-up of the last Sony State of Play, as well as our predictions for Nintendo 2024. It's going to be a lot of good stuff. It's not a lot of news besides that, so we're going to blow right through these topics, aren't we? It's going to be a good time, but I think we have a bit to say about the State of Play and what we hope for with Nintendo, so we're just going to get right on into it with Wolf.
Oh, yeah. What's up? Pretty interesting news week, all things considered. Mostly the State of Play as the big thing. But of course, as I alluded to, we are going to be talking about Nintendo and kind of our major predictions for the company. Man, did you plug everything?
Yeah. Did you not hear the new announcement?
Do I just turn off my brain whenever you talk? Oh, you never even introduced us. That's why.
That's what it was.
Oh, the intros.
He hates us.
Well, it's a long episode, so I'm trying to get
everyone just say hi. We're all here.
Okay, no, we gotta get through this. We gotta get through
everyone
this.
Except Bunch. Yeah. And Jat's here. Special guest Jat.
Hey, how's it going?
No, I got my intros. I got them right here. I'm pulling them up.
You got them? Okay.
I closed it for a second to read the list. Because didn't you hear we have new platforms?
We do?
I said it in the list.
Yeah, we have new platforms that he didn't mention us until now.
Did you add them?
Yeah, I didn't add it to your list. I added it to my list.
That's crazy.
Oh my god. You got to put it on my list too.
I'll send it to you. But yeah, it's now YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Radio Public, and Audible.
Oh, God bless those two iHeartRadio fans. I'm glad we got them on.
Jeez, that's hype. I hope we can listen to us when I'm driving. iHeartRadio, dude.
But anyway, let's get through the introductions.
Like, hey, I mentioned.
So riding that infinite wealth train, it's Wolf.
Yeah, hi, what's up?
Rocking out with his electric guitar, it's Fusion.
Yes, that's a good one for me.
It's the Task Force X Reject, it's Dark.
I hate you.
And he's gone fishing with Godzilla, it's Chat.
Hey, how's it going?
Now I can send it over to Wolf properly.
Yeah, hi. State of Play. A lot of news. Surprising. Anyways, the PlayStation blog had a good roundup. Jillian McAllister kind of like outlined everything that we saw in the State of Play. I'll ask right off the top, how is our overall feelings on the State of Play? Just number score wise. I'll start with you, Dirk.
I gave it a 7. It felt like every other State of Play. I gave it a 7.
Any thoughts despite that? Or just it felt like another State of Play?
He's just a hater.
No, I felt like another. There was some this felt more like if you were looking towards a specific game and that game was here, you would have enjoyed this. But if you just like watching this just to see new stuff, probably wasn't for you. I will say there was one announcement I really liked. That was about it.
That's good to hear. Moon, what about you?
If we're doing numerical, yeah, I'd probably give it like a 6 or 7. What really annoyed me was they had the audacity to put 2 games here that's just like in development. Like you can't even throw a 2024, 2025 release date on there. It's like, why even bother? It's like, why tease us like this? So I was kind of annoyed by that. It's like the same shit Xbox pulled of not putting any release dates on anything. I think one thing here had a release date. I'm annoyed. I want release dates. If you don't have release dates, don't show it.
Yeah, I think most of them were previously announced release dates, but Stellar Blade and Death Stranding kind of got windows. Well, Stellar Blade got an exact release date, and then Death Stranding got a window.
Yeah, literally one. Again, just like Xbox, one release date.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Jat, what about you?
Yeah, so I didn't end up catching it live, but like I saw the highlights, read some articles, and yeah, from the announcement shown, I'd say for me, I'd personally give it a 6, maybe a 5, only because there's only like 1 or 2 things I'm actually looking forward to, like Death Stranding on the beach. Is that what it's called? And
we'll get to it.
Yeah, and Sonic X Shadow Generations seems cool because it's just the same game but with Shadow, right?
Yeah, pretty much. We'll get right into it. And I gotta for my resident Sony pony of the call, Fusion, what did you think of the state of play?
Number-wise, it's hard because like this is actually I like the way they do state of plays. I'm the fan of them just going into like trailer after trailer, and then like sometimes Herman will come up there and like other people will show up for a little bit. But like if we're talking straight games I'm interested in, this would be like an 8 for me. I think there was a ton of games here. The only difference is there was no like surprise announcements or like, well, there was one, but there were no like big announcements from a reveal standpoint. But all the games that showed up, I'm like, okay, I want to play these video games. So like I thought it was a good show. I don't know why it gets in much. I don't think it's getting hate because I from what I've seen online, it was pretty positive. But like, I don't know. I liked what they showed, and it's like I like the way the state of plays, or like I said, trailer after trailer. I like the pacing. It's not a showcase, which would be awesome, and like there's not PlayStation Studios showing up, which sucks, which is why I'm lower. So maybe it's more like a 7. But I was very excited about the games they showed.
I mean, to be fair, the reason why there was no like surprise announcements is this thing got leaked.
Oh, true.
Like I would have been popping up
which
at it if I didn't know about the Sonic announcement.
Yeah, I guess Sonic. I was thinking like 90% of the games there were like pre-revealed already. They just showed up again. You know what I mean? Other than that Sonic and like Until Dawn, I guess.
By
an
an
Xbox
fan. That's
like
insane.
weirdo. Like weirdo, man.
My thoughts on the state of play kind of echo Fusion's, where I'm like, I like the format. I think it's a good like way to just get trailer after trailer. I don't need to see developers speak. I'll be completely honest. If I want that, I'll watch like a extended showcase type deal. But I don't know. Overall, like there was enough for me personally, but also some of the stuff that I was wanting to see didn't show well. Silent Hill. We'll talk about that. But even then, like in general, I thought this was like a solid enough showcase, like just the usual state of play that I'm not surprised by a lot of the stuff, but there were definitely some highlights that get me. There's enough for me personally where I'm like, okay, I enjoyed my time. I'm glad I caught that. So yeah, it would be probably like an 8 out of 10 for me. But let's get into the announcements. PlayStation Blog actually did this alphabetically, so we're going to start off with Dave the Diver, which is coming to PlayStation. Did they have a date? I think it was April, if I remember correctly. And it's getting It was? Okay, cool. And it's getting Godzilla DLC, which is just like Dave the Diver being the crossover game is honestly not what I expected from it.
Me neither. I don't know how it became the crossover game, but it has, and it's awesome.
I think Godzilla's. I love Godzilla, so like the idea of like Godzilla DLC for Dave the Diver sounds pretty exciting to me. I just can't see myself getting into it. Just doesn't seem like a Wolf game. But Fusion, I mean, this seems like a Fusion game. You think does this get you more interested with the Godzilla DLC, or are you kind of like the same level of like?
Considering by your gracefulness, you gifted me this game like a few months ago.
I'm a sweetheart.
Yes, I want to get to it. I'll probably wait till this Godzilla stuff comes in. I'm in no rush really to get to it. But like when Dave the Diver was at its like peak of people talking about it I think came out last August. Like it scored like a 90 or something, and people really liked it. I was like, I need to get to this game, and I still want to get to it. But it's that case where now they've had a lot of post content, and I'm like, I might as well just wait a little longer till like they're done updating this game, and I jump in there, and it's like awesome. Like that Godzilla stuff's quite awesome. There's no reason for me to jump in 2 months beforehand.
Honestly, if it has a good trophy list, if it's an easy one, then I might pick it up just for that. Maybe I can try to see if it's worth the hype. But thankfully, alphabetically, the next one is probably the biggest announcement here. Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Okay, yay or nay? Good title or no?
Yay.
That's the title. That's what
It's
that
an
is.
okay title.
I don't like
I
it.
knew
Title's
the
dumb.
moment when that trailer's going in and it starts off and it's like on, like it started with the word on the something, I forget what it said, but like it just kept saying on the something. I was like, oh, it's definitely on the beach. Like there's no way it's not on the beach.
That's a Kojima thing. But yeah, this was definitely the highlight of the show for a lot of people. I was gonna say including myself, but there was something else I was actually more excited for. But even then, like I know that everyone kind of came out of the state of play very much more excited for Death Stranding 2. But then they hit us with that 2025 date, and Fusion, I very much heard your screams in chat when that happened.
I can't believe that. I genuinely can't believe it's 2025. Like, wait, I don't know. I thought it was fully going to be this fall. Like, I was pretty confident. I was thinking, like, even as early as August, I was like, oh, Kojima's like, Death Stranding was 2019. It's been 5 years. I'm like, he's been cooking. Like I know he has OD and he's doing a couple other stuff that's probably like taking some time, but like I was for sure certain it was like 2024. Like I thought it was this year. I thought it was like, oh, this is Sony's big fall game. And the fact that it wasn't, I was pretty surprised.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Kojima's the type to let his games cook. This seems like an early 2025 game. I'd be kind of surprised if it was like fall 2025. But looks like it's going to compete with GTA 6 for Game of the Year. Let's go. But I mean, listen, okay. But the trailer itself was fucking incredible. Like everyone was talking about just. I think Kojima trailers go a little longer than I'd prefer. I'll be honest. Like, there's a point in this trailer where like they have the subtitle. It's like Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I'm like, okay, that's the end of the trailer. And then I kept going. I'm like, okay, Kojima, I get it. But that fight with like the fucking guy with the electric guitar, and then there's this dude who looks like Alan Wake. That's his puppet, just hanging on to Norman Reedus. It's Death Stranding weirdness, and I keep seeing this take online like, oh, this is weird. Oh my god, Kojima needs an editor. He needs to be stuck. Guys, he's always been weird. Have you played Metal Gear? Like, Death Stranding is pretty much just the same level of weirdness as Metal Gear, except it has celebrities in it, so it seems a bit weirder to see like Norman Reedus like taking showers naked and like holding a baby. But I don't know. Like, I think everything I saw in this trailer is usual Kojima affair, and I mean, graphically, the game looks absolutely stunning. And seeing like the new environments too, like I'm just ready to like do some more delivery in this game. Like, I know it sounds weird. Everyone's always like, "Oh, delivery, that's all you do," but like genuinely, like it is very engaging. It's a very relaxing game. That I don't know. It's just another Kojima masterpiece in my eyes. And to see Death Stranding 2 seems to just be carrying all of that. Like I will be there for it.
I don't know if this is a hot take or not. He should have shown this at the Game Awards and like swapped the trailers because like they gave him so much time at the Game Awards for that shit ass trailer. At least if he would have given this that had substance to it, it would have made more sense.
It still would have been terrible there as well. You ready for my hot take?
Odie was bad, bro.
Yeah, Odie was bad. Like Odie was shit. But here's my hot take that's probably going to ruffle a few feathers. Now, I'm not going to shit on the Kojima weirdness. I'm not going to shit on the trailer itself. What I'm going to shit on is, I don't know whose decision it was, either Kojima's or Sony's, maybe it's both of theirs, but why the fuck is this 10-minute trailer in a regular state of play? This kind of trailer, especially probably more than a year out. We're probably a year or so away from this game. Why are they showing this much at a regular ass state of play? Is just beyond me. It's terrible marketing, is what this is.
I don't think we saw much. I think this seems like very much a sliver of this game.
Well, obviously, but I'm saying it's still a 10-minute trailer that dragged on, and you even said yourself it went on longer than it needed to. But here's the problem with that is it sours the taste of a lot of people like myself who have no interest in Death Stranding. It's like, okay, now you're going to make me sit through this 10-minute trailer of a game I don't care about. Stuff like this, a trailer like this needs to be at a dedicated Death Stranding kind of state of play, like they're doing with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth next week. It needs to be that because a trailer in a thing like a state of play or a Nintendo Direct needs to be a snippet, something to get you interested to go look for it. Like not drop, and especially with a Kojima game like Death Stranding, where it's weird as shit, and as Bench was saying in chat, it's like you need to know the lore to even understand half the shit that's going on from the first game. So someone like me who knows literally nothing, I'm like, okay, cool, the game looks pretty, it's cool graphics, but I don't give a shit about any of these characters, and yet you're focusing all the trailer on these characters that I don't know anything about, so why should I give a damn? So it's just terrible marketing. It was a terrible choice to put this kind of trailer in this kind of direct. It should have been a shorter, smaller teaser kind of, not even a teaser, but like a regular ass trailer, like a minute and a half trailer that we usually get for all these other games. It's like, it's just Kojima getting special attention because he's Kojima. Okay, I'm done.
Fusion, get his ass.
I mean, I will say, I can see your point coming from a like actual state of play thing. I think this probably does fit more like a showcase or like something more something more, because this is like a huge third party. Granted, Kojima is third party for PlayStation, but everything else is more like a 2 to 3 minute trailer, and they're knocking them off, and then you just have this entire section with Kojima right at the very end, where it's like if you don't care about Kojima or nothing, the state of play at the end is just like, why am I here? Like if you don't care about Death Stranding or even know who Kojima is, you're just like, okay, this is just kind of a weird ending. On that thing, it did not feel like 9 minutes to me. I thought it went very quick, but maybe that's because I'm so into Death Stranding.
Yeah, that's because you're
I love
into
the
it and
stuff.
you know
Yeah.
what's going on. You have the
I could see that.
prerequisites.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Also, my big argument though is that this is one of their biggest games right now. Like Death Stranding was a seller, and I think they want to try to market it as much as possible.
And that's fine.
And
But it's just the length of this thing and the dedication that you need. You need a regular trailer needs to be something where, yeah, the fans can pick apart cool little details, but it needs to also generate towards a general audience of like, here's all this cool stuff you can do. Here's some cool action shots, some cool gameplay, whatever. Not this expansive, like, here is the main character's brother. It's like, what? Like, who the fuck is this guy? It's like, who gives a shit if you haven't played the first game?
I can see your point, but like, it's so hard for me to separate it because like that stuff.
If you're a Death Stranding fan, this is like a perfect trailer. You got 10 minutes of footage for a game you're really looking forward to. So yeah, this is gonna be like a 10 out of 10 state of play for people who played Death Stranding and liked it. But for everyone else, this was a shit way to end this thing. And because it was the last thing and it went on for so long, this whole state of play leaves a sour taste in your mouth.
I will give you that. Real quick, Doug, before you go, I will say, like, I do think there could have been something better as the ending stinger. Like, I was kind of expecting this as the 10-minute showcase, like the big meaty thing, and then one thing after that. But it was kind of surprising to just this be the ending, whole ending thing. Dark, you had something to say?
They could have cut the Death Stranding trailer in half and added the normal Final Fantasy trailer, but I know there's gonna be a new Final Fantasy trailer. And then do the thing that they did at the Game Awards where it's just an extended cut on YouTube so you can see the full thing. It would have worked a lot better.
Oh yeah, that would have looked so much better. It's like you get like a nice minute cut action shot of Death Stranding 2 stuff, and it's like see more on the on the PlayStation YouTube, and then you get that, and then it's like here's the surprise, here's like a 9-10 minute full trailer. That would have been awesome for all the Death Stranding fans, and it would have been just perfectly fine for people like me.
Yeah, I can understand that. I haven't seen many general statements on the Death Stranding 2 trailers from non-Death Stranding fans, so I actually do want to kind of check that out.
I think me and Moon were watching it together. It was pretty funny.
I think Moon has a good take. I didn't think of it that way because Moon's not hating on Kojima or Death Stranding or the trailer. He's more hating on.
I don't know.
Okay. No, he's hating on more of the state of plays, how they presented it. Because if you're going into the state of play and you don't care about that, you did get 10 plus minutes, because they did end on something after this. 10 plus minutes of this state of play is straight up just Kojima. And if you don't care about Kojima or Death Stranding, you're just like, well, 10 minutes of my 40-minute state of play, I'm out of. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing here for me. So I could see it being from like Mood's perspective or Dark's perspective where they don't care about that stuff. But it's also, I can't compare it to like any other conference because no one else has 9-minute trailers.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like here's a nice thought example. It's like, think of a franchise you just do not care about, and at the next Nintendo Direct we get a nice 10-minute presentation about that. Like, how do you feel about that Nintendo Direct?
Now you sold me. You sold me.
Because that was Indiana Jones for me. That was Indiana Jones weeks ago for me on Xbox. But there's nothing wrong with that. But that was a better place to show it because you knew you were getting 10 minutes of Indiana Jones. There was only 5 games there. It's not like it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. India was gonna be there.
Moon saying that was just like, yeah, because like if they ended a Nintendo Direct with 10 minutes of Xenoblade, like Dark and Moon and Best, they're like, yo, let's go. And I'd be like, bro, I am out of here. I'm gonna go eat. But no, I get that definitely. It's actually interesting to hear a different perspective on that regard. But yeah, go ahead.
Me and Moon were watching it together in the VC, and the funniest thing, because they didn't say it was Death Stranding right away, we were kind of like piecing it together, and then the baby came out and like burped out a ship. I was like, okay, that's Death Stranding. It's so fucking weird. Like, if you have no context of what this game is, that baby is like the funniest shit of all time.
And then it was like bleeding black tar from its eyes. I was like, what the fuck?
I was like, yeah, this is Death
so
Stranding.
raw. Fair enough. They did. Fusion mentioned this earlier. There was also one more announcement from Kojima in that he's teaming up with PlayStation while he was also teaming up with Microsoft. This is hilarious. He's making a new tactical espionage action game, a new Metal Gear game. That's what he's saying. Is called Physint. That's apparently supposed to blend film and gaming.
I mean, that's what Metal Gear kind of did. if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because Metal Gear was the first one to add in the cinematic cutscenes and stuff like that. So this sounds like when you see the way that Fizzin is spelled out, it kind of looks like fucking like Fox Unit or something like that. I noticed I'm like, this is like he is not
wants
subtle
to
with this
make it
whatsoever.
Metal
Yeah.
Listen, I love Kojima's games. I think he is a very smart guy with a lot of like interesting ideas that I want to see. Whenever he talks in interviews, I just want to fucking turn off the stream. He is so far up his own ass, and that's fine. You want that from a creative. You want a creative to be kind of like have an ego, but whenever he does, I'm just like, you know what? You can talk, Kojima. I'm just gonna play your game. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I don't know. Like, Jack, you're the movie guy. Like, did that interest you at all? The Fizzant, like blending cinema and gaming?
Yeah, I think like Kojima's the way he markets his games is definitely the most interesting I've seen, and yeah, it's like what you said. He's up his own ass. He's full of himself, but like he tries to make it feel like he's this mysterious guy. There's like he literally made a podcast that I listened to called "Where What's Going On in the Mind of Hideo Kojima" or something like that, and yeah, like I think what he's doing is like really cool, and we should still like let him cook because ultimately it ends up being like more people liking it than not.
Alright, so I have a
That's the
question.
thing.
Is this
Go ahead, Dirk.
is Sony making this movie with him, or is they
No,
just like paying him? Because
they're
if
working
Sony is
with him, yeah.
making this film, look, Sony's animation studio is really good, but they do the Spider-Verse. Their live action department needs help.
Well, you're
Look,
not gonna watch Madam Web?
Look, they brought us the great hit of Morbius. Both the Venom films.
It's a great movie.
They're making Zelda.
They're making Zelda. The same team is doing this, man. Like,
I mean,
I don't
won't
trust Sony's live action department of the 10-foot pole.
I
I don't know
okay,
how
but
you're
my
still in
argument
business
there is
after Morbius.
Kojima's there. My
That's what I'm saying.
argument is Kojima.
There might
So
be some
he's
help with
the best
Kojima,
there.
but like, I don't know.
I don't think it's fair to like really say anything about this. That's my thing. I don't know why they're talking about this.
Oh, this
It's
is
literally
this is PS6. Like this is way out.
seriously.
It's also it was Columbia Productions who's working on this. I'm pretty sure that's
That's
who was
Sony.
at the end. I know they're under Sony, but like I'm pretty sure they helped on Spider-Verse and like some other stuff. So it's not like they suck. Columbia
What
is
did
like
they
one of the good branches of Sony when it comes to film.
That's why I said
I don't know
the
anything
live
about
action.
movies.
They have two departments. They have the animated and the live action team. Animated team is good. Not sure what the fuck the live action team's going.
Pretty sure Columbia did they did Spider-Verse. I know that. I forget what else they did. It's been a
What
while.
the fuck is this studio? What is Columbia?
I think they did Goosebumps, not Goosebumps. Goosebumps.
They did Vivo, A Journal for Jordan, Spider-Man No Way Home, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Uncharted. Hang on, maybe we can trust these guys.
Wait a minute.
Okay, listen, that movie wasn't good, but it was good. It was bad with a heart of gold.
That movie's good, bro.
I
Everything
had a
about
lot
Mark
of fun.
Wahlberg's good.
It was fun.
But yeah, Fizzant. Woo, get hyped.
I mean,
No.
is OD?
sounds like
I know
Fox
OD is
Unit.
more of the cloud, but
Sounds
didn't
like
he
Fox
say
Unit
something about
Fizzant.
OD
I
with
swear to
film
God.
also?
You guys are talking over each other. No,
It was
it's not
something-
your fault, Fusion. Dark, I have beef with. Not
Yeah, that's crazy.
favoritism. Okay, Fusion, you go.
I would say, I know OD is like about the cloud and stuff, but didn't he also say something about film and like weirdness, like he wants to do stuff? I feel like this is good. I'm not trying to start beef with the Xbox fans. I understand it's probably a different project, but I can see a world where OD is like, it's gonna be a smaller project. I'm pretty sure he said that much, but like OD smaller. I wonder if OD is like he's trying to like his like guinea pig before like Fizzant, where like he's trying to work with like all this weird stuff in this film and like the cloud before Fizzant comes out. I don't know.
No, I feel like they're different things entirely because OD is the horror game with one of the worst trailers known to man, and Fizzant is the not Metal Gear game.
Well, yeah, but I
love
meant from more of a film and weird like trying to clash film and like games like side.
Well, OD is fully cloud based, so that's kind of its thing. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Don't try to parse out anything Kojima says. He's up his own fucking ass. Like, it's just not possible to understand what he's saying about blending cinema and gaming. But then OD is doing that, but also this. I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna play his game when it comes out. That's all it is. It really, you will never be able to parse out what this man is saying.
Like
Kojima
Remedy already
Trestle.
does this. Like play Quantum Break and everything else. Like
Oh yeah,
he's
course.
not there. He's
We're
getting beat.
giving
he's late.
we're giving the most like insane person access to like the technology behind Flight Simulator for OD.
Don't give him AI.
This is dangerous.
I want to see Kojima and Sam Lake together. Something
Oh
crazy.
my god, that's a dream game right there. I do not know what they would turn out together. But yeah, that's enough Kojima for one day. Even I get tired of Kojima. Honest with you guys. Next up was Dragon's Dogma 2. This got a new showing. They showed off something cool, apparently for Dragon's Dogma fans in regards to having multiple evocations, something like that. I don't know exactly. But this trailer, I mean, just shows off like this game keeps looking better and better. I think this is another streak for the Capcom era. Like, do you guys have any thoughts on it?
RE Engine doing wonders.
1000%.
This was my
Yeah, I
favorite
mean, like-
showing of this game.
Oh, really?
Like I don't know what was different. Yeah, I don't know what was different with this showing, but this was like I was already like, oh, I want this game. But for like the last couple months, which we'll talk about Rise of Ronin, but I was like, I'm kind of leaning towards Rise of the Ronin, and it was like I don't know why, but something about this trailer in particular and like the combat and everything they showed here, I was like, I'm completely in. Like you're just selling me on this for some reason.
It was a
Was
cool
it the
trailer,
PlayStation logo?
but what?
I'm kidding. Sorry, man, go ahead.
It was a cool trailer, but the interview with, I don't know if it was the director or the series producer or something, but it came out and his comments about like his take on open world games just kind of like just turned me off from anything that he makes, and it's just kind of very snobby, particularly with fast travel. It's like
What did he say?
apparently, I was looking at the comments under the article on like Reddit and Twitter and whatnot. And apparently, the Dragon's Dogma does have some sort of fast travel system, but it's very different than your standard. And it's more like zone-based fast travel rather than like certain destinations like cities or whatever. But yeah, they just that, and I forget what was the other thing. It was fast travel and something else. I'm just like, no, I need those kind of things in my games. I don't need to be spending an hour traveling across the countryside just because you want me to take in the scenery. It's like I got shit to do.
Dragon's Dogma 2 director explains why less fast travel can be a good thing.
No.
Travel is boring. It's only an issue because your game is boring. He's spitting there. Because listen, he's spitting because like I think about Just Cause. I never fast traveled once in that game because traversal was fun. So if they make the traversal fun, I don't mind.
Yes,
I
I
mean,
would
I
say it
kind of
depends
did
on the
it.
game
It also
for me.
depends on the
It
size.
depends on the
Spider-Man
game
2.
'cause- yeah, Spider-Man
use
2,
fast-
I didn't. I think I fast traveled like once or twice in that whole game, just because it was literally like I was on one side of the city and where I needed to go was on the literal opposite side. But for the most part, I did swing around. But that's because swinging is actually more interesting than whatever walking, running, or horse riding that Dragon's Dogma is going to offer. Now, unless we're riding a dragon, then maybe he has a point there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the world's also going to be that big. Like, I think this is actually going to be a decently like medium to small sized world. Like, I can't imagine they're going
Well, I
like
have
a
some new news for
massive
you.
assassin's. Oh no, did I miss
It's
something?
apparently 4 times the size of Dragon Dogma's one map. I don't know how big that map was, but
Okay, damn, well, you know, wait, hang on. What's the size of Dragon's Dogma's map? Let's check. Someone else.
Okay,
talk
while you
for
look
me
that up,
while
I just want to
figure
let
this
you
out.
also know, Wolf, regarding Dave the Diver. Its completionist rank is 46 hours.
Yeah,
Now,
46 hours.
Now, granted, I don't know if completionist also equates to what a platinum trophy would be.
that's
I
a
don't know,
small
maybe-
indie
I mean,
team.
if it's a fun 46 hours, I don't mind. I mean, for Power Watch Simulator was 46 hours. I couldn't complete it because of fucking glitch, but hey, that was fun. Okay. Apparently, Dragon's Dogma's map is around the size of Limgrave from Elden Ring.
The first Dragon Dogma.
Yeah, first Dragon's Dogma. So about
So
4 times.
four,
Limgrave.
4 of that, which I honestly can't remember. That in
That's
Elden Ring.
pretty big. Limgrave was big.
That's the
Okay,
main
well, I mean,
spot,
we'll know when the game's out, honestly. But like, yeah, Limgrave was the first area you could get out
That's
of
what I thought.
Elden Ring. But yeah, Dragon's Dogma looking good. Next is Foam Stars. Am I right? Are we hyped?
Moon's hype. This is his game of the year.
This is what Jim Ryan wanted.
Oh my
Multi-
god!
This is
Dude,
that
can
live
not
service.
stop talking about Jim Ryan.
Jim Ryan was
This
even
is,
there.
this is his swan song, bro. This is what he's
Jim
going out
Ryan's
there.
not there anymore. Herman Holst was there. Roast him at least.
No, but like, no, it's not his fault though. Jim Ryan was doing that. Got this.
I would
He's
get
the one that
salty
secured
this
this
was
from
one of the
Square
games.
Enix.
I swear, we could be at like a party, and Dark's like, "Man, I'm glad Jim Ryan isn't here."
I
I
literally
mean,
had a
true
party.
though.
We were at a party. He'd be like, "You guys got the Jim Ryan cookies?" Like he'd just bring them up somehow.
Okay, to be fair, if you get those cookies, they gotta be worth a lot of money, bro.
You're always thinking about Jim Ryan. It's weird, bro. He's like 60. He's got a family, bro.
This is
Calm
his swan
down.
song, bro.
Stop thinking about it, bro. Foam Stars. It looks like Foam Stars. I mean, I don't think we have much to say.
Yeah, like I said, I was just salty he was there because I'm like, once I heard there was 15 games, and then like Foam
like,
Star
this
showed
is
up, I
one
was
of
like, well,
them?
there's one of the 15. Like, cool.
Another one of the 15 was Helldivers 2. This is what introed the state of play.
Yeah, I didn't
And
want to
this
see this there either.
Listen, this was basically a hey guys, we want to remind you this is coming out this month trailer because I don't know,
please
it didn't
play it.
really do much for me. The mech looks cool.
The actual
That's it.
gameplay looks cool, but it's just like,
I don't know if you saw previews that dropped today. They're very positive. Like people,
It
like
looks-
IGN
yeah,
dropped
that's-
them, and like a bunch of people, they were really liking this game.
It looks like a lot of fun. I think I would pick it because it's $40, right?
Yeah, it's a cheaper game.
I think I would pick it up if it had a sizable campaign and if other people were willing to buy it with me.
yeah, that's the
Fusion.
thing. You need a group. You need a dedicated group for this kind of game.
Fusion's not gonna buy this. He's
I
gonna
might
leave
get
out
it.
in the fucking dust.
It has
Do you think we
crossplay.
can peer pressure into bench getting it?
Yeah,
I don't want him to play it with me. I
Pressure
want to have fun with this game.
I mean, we already
get
did that
man
from
to buy
Tekken.
anything.
He did that to himself with Tekken.
Shut up,
Yeah, I don't know what the. I was trying to stop him from Tekken because it had what happened exactly happened. After a week, he forgot about it. I hate that guy. Next up, what a game of the show for a lot of people here. Judas.
Yeah.
This is Ken Levine's game, the creator of the BioShock franchise, who after 10 years after BioShock Infinite, he's like, you know what, guys, I want to do something other than BioShock. Made a BioShock.
He made more
But
BioShock.
hey, people like BioShock. It's been a while since BioShock Infinite, so I mean, I'll let you guys take it away.
This is Bioshock 4. This is literally what it is.
Which is gonna suck when BioShock Actual 4 comes out from
You're gonna have to call it
whatever's
something
left
else.
of that company, and it just flops, and we just all look at Judas like, "Oh, there's the real BioShock 4." But yeah, this is my game that I'm not gonna probably shut up about. Like, we got Wolf over here with like GTA and Death Stranding. Like, you're gonna be hearing Judas from me for like the next year. Even though this is probably the last time we're gonna see it until probably January next year.
Well, that's the thing, though. So it was in a Take-Two financial report. It's supposed to come out before March of next year.
February game, let's go.
I mean, yeah,
If you
I
think
think
about
we're
it,
probably.
yeah. You'll be playing it
probably
within
gonna
the
see it
next
by
12 months.
I mean,
I'm
I
happy now.
can see it this year. I can see it like in November.
The fact it's just annoying me that they had the balls to say in development. It's like, yeah, no shit. From the last time when we saw this at the
That was
Game Awards,
crazy.
like 3 years ago or something,
I was gonna say,
it
it
said
was like
It was
in development.
a year. It was a year and some change because it was,
Was
at
it?
the 2022 Game
yeah, it was
Awards.
2022.
I thought it was longer
Which
than that.
I
Felt
really
longer.
like this. I want, like, I'm excited for this game as well, but I did feel like you could show me this trailer and then show me the 2022 trailer. I wouldn't know the difference. Like,
Yeah,
I felt like these
genuinely.
trailers were very similar, and they were both
I'd have
like
to
30
rewatch
seconds.
it. I don't remember anything from the trailer.
They
It
both
was-
start up with that girl talking to you. Judas, I assume is who that is. They both open up like that.
I love the name Judas. I don't know why. This is like, yeah, let's reference biblical characters in video game titles. I'm down for that. But he keeps talking about how this game is like Legos. There's some bullshit. I'm like, okay, brother, you're getting a little too close to the
Yeah,
Kojima sun here.
Ken Levine's a little bit of an oddball. He's been drinking that Kojima juice a bit.
I mean, he's been working on this shit for 10 years almost. So, I mean, I'm hoping it's good. Next
It
up,
can't be any worse than Atomic
yeah.
Heart, and when we thought that was gonna be the next Bioshock.
let's not talk about that game. Next up, hey guys, do you remember PSVR 2?
No,
do.
remind me.
Yeah, Sony had a VR headset. They showed off 2 games. The first one they showed off was Metro Awakening. coming 2024. Honestly, I look at this trailer and I'm like, damn, guys could have made a console Metro game instead of making it VR, huh?
Man, I think they are. This is just like some side project they're doing to hold it over the fans while they work on the next one.
I hope that's the case, because I mean, this game looks cool. Yeah, for sure. It's kind of that thing of like, it's not VR2 exclusive, I'm assuming. But if it was, it'd be like, damn, because like, I mean, MetaQuest seems like the most affordable, like best VR option at the moment. You know, our resident VR expert Bob has said the MetaQuest 3 is great. I assume that's going to be coming on there. And hey, you know what? I'm happy for VR fans. This looks great. It's just like, whenever I see any PSVR games at a state of play, I always think of that one meme. It's just like, just let it go, man. You keep trying to sell this thing. It's like, it's clear you don't care about VR, or else like you would have way more on VR instead of just
so
two
mad
games.
as a Metro fan. Like, imagine you're a Metro fan and you're just waiting there, like, oh my gosh, a new Metro, and then they hit you with a VR, and like you have no desire to play VR or own one, and you're just like, nice, dude.
It's the killer app. That's why you buy a VR. Maybe. We also had Legendary Tales. I thought this looked cute, but I don't really think too much about it. It looks like a fun RPG, but
if I had a good VR headset, I do have a Quest 2, but I don't want to talk about it. It's like if I were actually like to game on a VR headset, this is probably like a game I would play.
Yeah, for sure. Next was one game I'm actually really excited for, Rise of the Ronin. I thought this was a great showing for this game. This is definitely like the March 22nd game I'm the most excited for of the three. I have the Princess Peach Showtime, Rise of the Ronin, Dragon's Dogma 2. This is the one I'm like eyeing up the most. I love that period of Japanese history, kind of like that Western expansionism. You know, you're using a fucking revolver, which is just a revolver samurai is just the rawest thing you could ever create, in my opinion. And I don't like every trailer I've seen of this game is just like, yeah, Team Ninja's in their bag. I think this could be the Team Ninja breakout hit that gets people to actually think like, hey, this is a great studio. We should actually like talk about their games more. Granted, it definitely does kind of just like air a lot of like, we have Ghost of Tsushima at home, but guess what? Ghost of Tsushima is fucking awesome, and it's like Ghost of Tsushima at home is probably going to be awesome too. I also saw Moon was you were kind of worried like about the Souls-like elements. This is not a Souls-like. This is very much a Team Ninja action game, and they got that easy difficulty for you if you ever wanted. So like,
easy
this
difficulty
is definitely
game.
Yeah, I mean, and they got that hard difficulty for the sadists. Hey, what's up? So I'm just I think this is definitely going to be like one of the breakout hits for Team Ninja, a studio that I've always been a big fan of.
I will say I push back a little because I feel like we said that exact same thing about Wulong, and it was probably said about Neo too. I feel like every time a Team Ninja game comes out, someone's like, this is their breakout game, and every time it's just a fine video game. I'm not like, this game could be really awesome. It probably will just score well, but like Team Ninja needs like not Elden Ring level of something, but like they need something a little more than like, because even the Neo games score really high. I don't know. I just feel like Team Ninja, they need something that really, really hit for them to have a breakout game.
Wait,
well, that's the thing. Our games. Jet, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say the breakout hit. It could have been Strangers of Paradise.
I mean,
Hey,
yeah,
that's
they did a Final Fantasy game.
I mean, I think I don't know. Like their games score well. Like they do score well. I've been thinking like more of like a not a financial success, but like kind of in the like zeitgeist, people talking about it more on like social media. Like I feel like this is definitely the one to do it more than their other games, because like Neo 2, that's a sequel to like a like that's kind of a harder sell, and like this one's an action adventure, more Assassin's Creed style game. I think that's going to be the one that genuinely gets just the most eyes and people on it. And hey, even if it doesn't, like I love Team Ninja, so I'm like, hey,
I'm not hating on Team Ninja at all. And I will say, they have the power of being a PlayStation exclusive and like the PlayStation good tax and all that. So maybe you're right. That like people will just hype this game up because it's only on PlayStation. So maybe this is the Team Ninja hit.
I hope so.
Which is also their like first exclusive ever. Is this their first game that's ever been like?
No, they've had exclusive. The Ninja Gaiden was exclusive to the original Xbox.
When was that? 2004.
2003. 2003.
So I feel like I feel like they've been multi-plat for like years.
Yeah, no, now that I think about it. No, Neo was PS4 exclusive for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have a strong relationship with PlayStation. Another company that has a strong relationship with PlayStation is Konami. So we get to talk about Silent Hill. They showed off Silent Hill, the short message. I saw this game getting beat up online. I played the demo. I thought it was fine. I thought it was good enough. Like I think it was one of those things where people don't actually know what bad games, bad horror games are. Where I'm like, yeah, it was good enough. Like there were some good parts to it. I definitely came down a little bit on the hype after I beat it, but then over time, I'm like, it's good enough. But yeah, they kind of did that cool like, hey, it's releasing right now, and it's like a full game, not like a demo. And they very much put this as like, hey, this is kind of what we want to be as like the base for what Silent Hill could be in the future. And I think as a base, it works. I'm actually much more interested in Silent Hill F. That's the one that's being written by Ryukishio 7, who did Higurashi, and no one knows what that is, but Higurashi is really good. But yeah, I mean, Silent Hill is definitely one of my like. It's just tough because the other Silent Hill game they showed off, Silent Hill 2 remake.
I'm gonna say real quick, just on the short message.
Oh yeah, go for it.
It was funny because like, see, you were the first person that like I talked to that beat it like before any reviews came out, and you were like, yeah, it's pretty good. Like I'd recommend it. And then after that, it's just been like all downhill. Like like GameSpot gave it a 3 out of 10 today. Oh my god, 3! Like I've just seen it getting,
okay.
Yeah, they give it a 3.
That is insane to me. I can understand like a 5, where I'm like, okay, that's fair enough. I'd probably give it like 6, 6.5, 7. Probably 6. But like a 3?
Like, yeah, everyone who's like reviewed it or like on Twitter, like I think it has a 52 right now on OpenCritic. 20% critic recommend. I was like, I did not expect that after like, granted, like you were probably just hot off of it and it was something new and you were like, this is like you said, you've cooled off on it, but
Silent Hill fans we've been in the fucking gutters. We'll take anything at this point, but like I don't know, I'm surprised like it was that negative. Like I can understand if you didn't like it, but like people are like, this is one of the worst games ever. It's like it's a free 2-hour experience. Like it's hard to be that mad about a game that's free.
Not PT. People want PT that bad.
PT. Maybe one day. And what am I saying? Maybe one day. Never again. Whatever. Silent Hill 2. This game looks like us still. I'm just.
Wait, you mean Resident Evil 2 remake at home?
Yeah, this is Resident Evil 2 at home.
I do not fucking understand what this fucking team is doing with my Silent Hill 2. They are saying, hey, we are making a Silent Hill 2 remake, and we're just making it a Resident Evil clone. If you played Silent Hill 2, you would know that is not a game you make into a Resident Evil clone. It is not Resident Evil. Silent Hill has never been Resident Evil. I don't know why the fuck they're trying to catch on to this Resident Evil remake hype train.
Because Resident Evil 2 remake sold really well.
Yeah, and I don't understand what they're trying to do. That was Silent Hill 2 of all fucking games. That is not a game that works well for a Silent Hill, for a Resident Evil. Tell me why most of this trailer was combat. That is not Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is about the atmosphere, the vibes, the terrifying nature. It is one of the scariest games I have ever played in my life.
Which is funny because they nailed that for the short message trailer. Like they nailed the tone and atmosphere for that.
Yeah, and then this one is just like, oh man, look, guys, we improved the melee combat. It's like no one was asking you to. We just
I'm just laughing at like the textureless enemies.
it looks terrible.
I never played a Silent Hill game. It's on my list of games I want to get to. When I seen this, I was like, yeah, here's the dollar store Leon Kennedy.
He literally looks like dollar store Leon Kennedy.
He is not Leon Kennedy. Like that is the whole point. That is the whole point of this character, is that he is not Leon Kennedy. He is a broken man. I want to see him broken, not fucking fighting zombies like it's a fucking Tuesday. That's not him.
But a Resident Evil and Silent Hill.
Listen. My viewpoint on this game is, let it be shit. Just get fucking re-release Silent Hill 2 in a good way, not that trash ass HD collection. How about you actually fucking give respect to one of the greatest games of all time?
That's just Konami, right?
Yep, it's a Konami.
Yeah, they don't do good ports, bro.
Oh no, I know. Look at that Metal Gear. They can't even do fucking Metal Gear. Oh my god. Why does Konami? I hate how Konami has the best franchises of all time. They have Castlevania, fucking Silent Hill, and Metal Gear Solid, and they're like, we don't know what to do with this. Just give it to Sony. I don't care anymore, man.
They gotta reach it soon. I'm surprised
Dude,
they haven't done it already.
they're literally beating me to death right now. Like this is torture porn for me. Like I can't handle this anymore, guys. They are torturing my favorite franchises. That I see that Castlevania game and that looks like dog shit too. So yeah, Silent Hill 2 remake. I assume for you guys it looks bad
more
for y'all
for
too,
just
though.
on more Resident Evil 2 at home. It's just that's what a lot of Alone in the Dark is looking a lot like too. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how that handles itself when that comes out.
Yeah, which is interesting. The Alone in the Dark remake, it's like Alone in the Dark isn't that. It's just so weird. I don't know why they keep trying to do this. Money, that's why.
Money,
thought it
because
was
they said, wait, Resident Evil 2 remake sold really well and was critically received. Okay, let's
What
do
horror
that.
IP do we have?
I thought it was like I've never played Silent Hill 2, so I didn't see like the issue. I don't think the game visually looks great, which is odd because I'm
Yeah,
like,
it didn't look that good visually. Either.
yeah,
It did
visually that
not
was
look
the
good.
very first thing I noticed, and like I didn't know Silent Hill 2 wasn't like very combat heavy, so I didn't until I went to Twitter and people were like, the minute they showed all this combat, it was chalked. I was like, okay, that makes sense. I don't know if I'm excited. I don't know if I was ever excited for this remake. I just know people love Silent Hill 2, so I was like, oh, if this
This is
remake's
not-
good, I'll give it a shot. But like, I
Dude,
don't know.
just my dream is everyone to play Silent Hill 2, but that's never gonna happen.
And I remember that the reveal trailer for this remake was awesome.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I like the reveal
I mean,
trailer. I thought it was like more like it was him talking,
Yeah.
and it seemed like eerie and like actually like
Because
horror.
I think it
and,
was
like,
a
you
pure
could-
CGI trailer. That's
Yeah, it was
why.
pure CGI. Yeah, and it was
Yeah,
like
no,
pure CGI, and it was just like it was telling a story, and then you have this trailer, and this is just like Resident Evil 2 We Tried edition. Like I don't know.
We tried edition.
Fusion, your beef with Supermassive is my beef with Blooper
Like
Team.
don't air my supermassive beef out on the internet.
What what? You don't want to fucking you want to hide it?
We're not gonna get codes.
We're not gonna get codes. All right, let's get to the best game of the show: Sonic X Shadow Generations. Okay, this isn't my favorite game of the show, but I know it's dark, so you can go ahead.
I was so fucking hyped for. Look, Sonic Generations is arguably one of the last good Sonic games that Sonic Team specifically made. Because the issue with Sonic right now is Sonic Team.
Whoa.
But besides that,
Frontiers.
that's why I said
Frontiers was
one of the
great.
last few. One of the last few.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
Because outside of that, you have like, wait, did Colors come out after or before? Anyways, the last like 3 good Sonic games that came out from Sonic Team was Colors, Generations, and this. But outside of that, the game looked it's a remaster, but they added a like a little I don't expect this to be long whatsoever. There's like a little Shadow expansion. You get to play as Shadow, which is pretty cool. And it looked hyped as shit because who doesn't like Shadow?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Sega is cooking right now. They're at the top of their game, so I'm hyped.
I love Sonic Generations. This is always been one of my favorite Sonic games, if not my favorite. But yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah, this
it looks like Sonic Generations. Like it's hard to really like say much else out of it other than hey, I'm excited. Love Sonic Generations. Next up is probably my favorite game of the show, Stellar Blade. This is the first thing they showed off, and I'm just like, give it to me now. Korean, like Shift Up, they are kind of a newer studio, and Sony seems to be working very heavily with them. This honestly was a surprisingly different showcase. I kind of expected this to be like a level-to-level DMC style like action game, but they showed it off, and it was like, oh, okay, this is Nier Automata. And like, I know we make the joke like this at home, this at home. This is Nier Automata at home, but like, listen, one of the greatest games of all time at home. It's still gonna be good. Like, I'm excited for it. I think this could be a fun.
There you go.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, you always cut me off. It's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're fine,
This is Nier and Recore. If they had a baby.
Oh my god, I haven't heard Recore in years.
Recore, the Xbox exclusive.
Bro, always got Xbox on the mind. Am I right?
I haven't even played Recore.
I don't know
but,
where
like,
you're
I
seeing
just know.
Recore.
They showed the
being
desert.
Besides it being in a desert, has nothing to do with Recore. There's
The
a lot
way
of games that
desert
take
has,
place in
like,
the desert.
The desert and metal, like you could have just said Mad Max.
Nier Automata's in a desert.
I don't know, the way that the enemies looked in the desert and the desert
Blame Jim
reminded me straight of Recore.
You're gonna play Recore and you're gonna go like, what the fuck was I saying? I mean, listen, oh, go ahead, Fusion.
I know there were some people who were like, this trailer went on too long, or like some people were like, they focus too much on the characters and like the world, and I like that because I thought it was just gonna be another combat trailer, and I did like that they went into like, hey, this is like kind of what the world is and like the lore, and like you're meeting some of the characters.
Side quests.
Like I personally really like that.
They didn't show enough
Yeah, it's-
ass.
They showed more than enough.
They showed enough.
I'm done.
Yeah, it's interesting
they-
that it was so focused on character and story. It's very different. It's like at the last second, like all the other trailers have been very action focused, and then at the last second, like here's our last trailer. Okay, now we're gonna give you all the story and characters.
That's probably why, because like all the other trailers were so action focused. They're like, okay, we need something to show like our world.
I really like that song they played also. I was like, I'm
that's
ready
nice.
for the song to hit during like the actual game.
I'll be honest, the dub didn't do much for me. That was very much like I think I'm probably gonna play in Korean, but that's just me. I know it's probably gonna be good for like people who don't really like sub in games.
The majority, yeah.
The majority, shut up, Fusion.
The majority, no one's playing this in Korean, buddy.
I'm a dub enjoyer, and you're gonna sit here and make me hate it my own kind. This is
No, I'm
crazy.
not gonna say. I'm just. You're
I will
alone in
say,
the fight.
oh my! What alone in the fight? I'm on your side.
Oh,
What is going on, bro?
I play games in dub like 90% of the time. It's just like I don't know, like a Wolong. I played that in Chinese. I don't know. Whatever. We got a date for April 26th. Honestly, a little earlier than I expected, but also kind of perfect because like that's a late April game. So I got my April set up.
The game disappeared for like 2 years, and they were like, "Oh, here's the release date. Like this is what the game should do. If they're gonna be gone next time you show them, tell us you're around the corner."
Facts. Moving on. This is a weird one. Fusion's favorite studio, Until Dawn, Supermassive Games.
Yeah, it's not Supermassive this time though.
Yeah, so this is a remake, remaster.
Yeah, remake.
They said it's built from the ground up remake.
What does that mean? What are you remaking?
All the
What's
assets.
I mean, I've never been the biggest fan of this remastering games that are literally from 2015 strategy. But I mean, if it's coming to PC, so that's something. And I know people like Until Dawn.
Pretty sure it's Ballistic Moon is the studio working on it.
What?
I remember when me and
Yeah, Ballistic Moon. Like that's the name, Ballistic Moon.
Oh, you said Ballistic Moon. I'm like, why are you telling Moon about it?
I don't know, like that's the studio name that did this.
Yeah, you're right. I remember this logo.
when me and Moon were watching this on the VC, I even mentioned it to him. Like, this is just how I remember the game looking like. I don't like.
Oh no, it looked a lot better because I just played the game again like last year.
I'm sure if I seen side by side with like when I think about Until Dawn again, I just imagine this trailer. Like it looks the same to me.
Yeah,
I
but
thought
that's
this trailer
like with
was horrible.
every game. Like when you think back on a game, even from like 20 years ago, you always have
It looks
it always
better
looks
in your
better in
head.
your memories.
Mhm.
I thought it looked bad. Like not the game. I thought the trailer they cut together like showed nothing. Like you're saying you're remaking this game, they didn't show you why they remade the game. Like there was nothing in this trailer to show me like, hey, this is different in this version, or like they said
They were
in the
teasing
press
it like
release
it's a new
after.
game.
Yeah, in the press release after there was like, there's a new third person perspective and all this. I'm like, you saw none of that in your trailer.
That's so weird. Why would they not? I don't know. Like they cut it like it was like a brand new game from Until Dawn Studio, but no, it's just Until Dawn. Apparently, Ballistic Moon is made up of people who worked on the original Until Dawn, so it's very much like, oh, what's our first game gonna be? Until Dawn. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really. I'm not big intrigue in this game, but I know people. Until Dawn.
For that movie coming out.
Yeah, that's really the major reason. We talked about that on the show a couple weeks ago. So, moving on. Last two. I'll go by these last two quickly. V Rising. This is a PC game getting a PS4 release, or PS5 release. This game looked interesting, but like I love good vampire story, but kind of suffers from the fact that I hate survival games, and this is a survival game. So I don't know. I don't really have too much excitement for it just because of that.
So
What
I've
was the
never
game
seen this game
Moon
before.
thought was Castlevania.
Yeah, I thought it was Castlevania.
Oh yeah, we all
Yo,
thought it
he
was some.
looks-
We all thought it was some like weird isometric like spin-off Castlevania game. And we're
Oh,
like,
he
okay, this
looks
is gonna be some weird
Alucard.
spin-off from Konami, and they're like, nope, it's not Castlevania.
The main character, whoever he is, looks one to one of Alucard. I was like, is this fucking Castlevania? I'm interested in this game just for the fact that it looks like Castlevania now. I'll give it that.
And then last was Zenless Zone Zero. This is MiHoYo's new game. Probably the most interested I've been in a MiHoYo game just because it's an action game. I like action games and I like the style and aesthetic of it, but not much else to say. It was very much a marketing obligation trailer, if I'm being honest.
Well, be honest, I
It
didn't know
kinda
this game
just
was here.
showed, like,
You went to the restroom during that part. I get
No,
it.
I don't remember seeing this video game.
he blocked
It
it
was
from
all
his
a
memory.
blur.
Like, that's kind of crazy. Also, the trailer on YouTube has 1.6 million views, so people would like it, I guess.
It's MiHoYo.
It's
Their fan
MiHoYo.
base is
They made
gigantic.
Genshin.
Oh.
Yeah.
They
okay,
make
that makes
Genshin,
sense.
they make Honkai Star Rail, they make all
Yeah,
those
that
gotcha
makes-
games that make millions of dollars.
So this is a Binks game. Like, he's playing this game.
I'm playing it.
I'll try it
Oh,
out.
you're playing it.
I like action games. That's really all it is. But yeah, that was the state of play. Overall, we gave our scores at the beginning. Any final thoughts we want to go before we leave PlayStation?
People just need to remember the difference from a state of play and the showcase. That's all. Once you get your expectations, like, in check, like, this is a good state of play. It's probably the best state of play in, like, a while.
Yeah, I'm just surprised. It's like there was like, where's the PlayStation Studios games? It's like they don't really appear at like PlayStation state of plays.
It's always
I
been
will
more
s-
third-party perspective.
I will say there is that question of like Sony's second half, and I keep kind of trying to like ease a bit where it's like Sony's probably going for a different marketing style. They want to reveal stuff closer to release. But even if they, like, I could see a situation where 2024 seems to be a slower year for Sony, especially in the first parties front. Which honestly, I mean, I don't think they're gonna suffer from it. I think they have a lot of third party games to kind of like keep them afloat. But yeah, I would prefer if there was more.
No, once or I was fully expecting Concord to be here. I think it's weird that Concord and Fair Games were like, they weren't here. They were shown off a year ago and they weren't here. And Concord has
forgot.
been there was a leak like 3 days before this day play that Concord was going to be shown in the next 2 weeks and like all this other stuff. So I'm like, oh, for sure at the state of play. But now that it's not a state of play, it's like, when are you dropping this Concord information, Sony? Like, out of the blue?
Yeah, Concord's a weird one. It's like there's like really hard to get hype for that game because, well, all we got was a burger in CGI. But if it's good, it's good. Like I'll check it out probably. I don't know. It's hard to be that excited for it. Moving on. The Embrace has struck again, ladies and gentlemen.
Every
Pour
week.
one out. Embracer Group cancels Deus Ex video game. This comes from Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg. The Swedish gaming company Embracer Group AB is canceling a video game in the beloved Deus Ex series after 2 years of development and will lay off a number of employees as part of an ongoing initiative to cut costs. Eidos, the Montreal, Canada-based studio behind the game, will instead focus on an original franchise. The canceled Deus Ex project, which had not yet been announced, was slated to enter production later this year, said the people speaking anonymously because they are not authorized to talk to the press. In a statement on Twitter, I fucking hate Schreier articles. In a statement on Twitter, Eidos Montreal said on Monday that it has let go of 97 people due to the global economic context, the challenges of our industry, and the comprehensive restructuring announced by Embracer. Following a period of massive expansion during the pandemic, Embracer Group has lately been making widespread layoffs, game cancellations, and studio closures. Are any of us big Deus Ex guys? I have not played a Deus Ex game.
I hear a lot of good things about it, but I've never tried it.
Played it.
Same.
Yeah, I've never played it.
It's something I'd be into. I like the vibes of it, but I have not played one. It's like you said, Fusion. Every week, the Embrace, they just strike again.
I do want to say, while it's true that a lot of these layoffs are happening because of COVID, you ain't fooling nobody here.
Yeah,
This is 100%
they lost that Saudi deal, and that fucked them up way more than we even expected them to. And just outright canceling this game just so aggressively too. Like, I don't know. I'm surprised because I feel like Deus Ex, like, if you make a good Deus Ex game, I feel like that's a big enough franchise to where, like, hey, a nice 4 or 5 million seller. Those games sold really well. So I don't know why they're just deciding, let's cancel it. Like, we're gonna do a new IP instead. It's like, what? What is the strategy behind this? I don't get it.
I'm telling you, Borderlands is next. What's left? It's gonna be Borderlands.
The bad ending. I don't know. I mean, the Embrace, do they have any more studios to lay off? Like, at this point, I feel like every studio they've owned has had layoff at this state of the company.
Has
I just
Gearbox had
wonder-
layoffs?
Yeah, I think
Gearbox
they
had
did.
layoffs, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
I just wonder how these studios, like, if these studios ever talk to like the people in charge at Embracer, other than when they're getting laid off.
That's the thing. I don't
Like, is there
think
any
they are.
communication ever until they're like, oh, actually, we're laying some people off, and then they don't talk to them again forever?
I
I mean, I
really
figure
think
at
that's
this
what it
point,
is.
at this point, they probably just start having meetings, being like, "Yo, we know we're gonna have to come eventually. Like, just tell us now."
Yeah. Well, unfortunate for Deus Ex. I really want to play a new Deus Ex now. I'm like, I want to see the hype behind this franchise. What could have been. Moving on. Game Informer has this one from Wesley LeBlanc. Blizzard's new president is Johanna Faris, a former Call of Duty franchise manager. Blizzard Entertainment has selected Johanna Faris as its new president following Mike Ybarra's departure from the studio last week, alongside news that Microsoft was laying off 1,900 employees. Faris worked for the National Football League for 12 years before working at Activision starting in 2018. She started as the head of Call of Duty esports before eventually working as Call of Duty franchise manager at the company Microsoft acquired last year for $69 billion. Now, granted, Fusion Dark, what's the state of Call of Duty nowadays? Yeah, she's the director of Call of Duty previously.
Not good.
Oh,
Especially
man.
the esport under her. The CDL under her was
The
terrible.
only thing I can give her with like somewhat like that's good is like, hey, Warzone is like you're staying afloat. It's keeping you alive.
I mean, do you think she is gonna like? It is interesting. They're hiring from Activision to lead Blizzard
So the thing is,
rather than hiring from Blizzard.
Blizzard is very different than Call of Duty. I mean, you're kind of stuck in the Call of Duty mission. I feel like your soul gets lost. So maybe I'm hopeful that there is a chance that something happens here, but honestly, I don't know.
I think Blizzard. I don't know. I want to hope something changes, but like this is such a weird choice to me. This is like not where I would expect them to hire from.
I think she'll do very well, actually. Only because, like,
Oh, really?
you don't move. She's moved through the ranks really fast in recent years, and you don't move through the ranks this fast unless you're really good at your job. Now there's some
Interesting.
loud thunder outside. If you heard that, I don't know if you did, but I don't think you move through like you said, she was like at the CDL, and then she moved from there very fast. Like, I have no reason I can sit here and say Call of Duty hasn't been great, but that can't all be on her issues. I think a lot of the CDL issues, which was the Call of Duty League esports, a lot was on her. But like other than that, I don't see like when you're moving through the ranks, like I said, at this point, at this fast, and you keep like getting promotions, you're doing something good at some point in your job.
It definitely comes down to like your viewpoint is like, I don't really think she is fully responsible for the state of Call of Duty, and I agree because that very much seems more so in the regards of like a Bobby Kotick. That was someone who had way more power in regards to like leading both Activision and Blizzard, and very much doing all the big business decisions from there. I feel like just a Bobby Kotick removal might be enough to help Blizzard and maybe Activision get to a better spot. I want to be hopeful because these two companies make some great games. Moving on. Supermassive. Fusion, perk up again. Supermassive Games co-founders have left the company. Pete and Joe Samuels have stepped down to cheer from the sidelines. Posted by Chris Scullion over at VGC. As spotted by Game Rep, the announcement was made recently on the studio's LinkedIn page with a message paying tribute to co-founders Pete and Joe Samuels. Quote, after 15 amazing years, we say goodbye to our founders. The message reads, Pete and Joe, thank you for creating the Supermassive Games story that we will continue to write. Your Supermassive legacy will live on. We all wish you both the very best of luck in your next chapter. Pete Samuels posted his own message explaining that his decision to step down was based on health reasons. After over 15 years of CEO as Supermassive Games, I have taken the very difficult decision to step down from my role and leave the business. My decision is entirely on health grounds and hasn't been taken lightly. I am and always will be proud of what Joe Samuels and I founded all those years ago and filled with admiration for the Supermassive team and the amazing things they have achieved. I don't really think this is going to affect much in regards to Supermassive, their like future trajectory. I don't know, like I can't imagine they were as hands-on. I think they're going to be able to like continue doing the things they've been doing with the Dark Pictures anthology. It doesn't seem like they're working on the Until Dawn remake at all. Like they're very much just like separated from that. They are doing Little Nightmares 3, which is kind of a weird development choice in my opinion, but yeah, I don't think much is going to change. How about you guys?
I think they're doing good right now. I don't think they have to change anything. I don't know how everyone else feels, but I really like the Dark Pictures anthology.
Well, you are the only human. Anyways, it's like I said, I don't know enough about like the actual devs here to like say if this is a big deal or not. But like, if he said it's for health issues, so like I hope that clears up, and like I hope everything on that end, like that's the most important part. But like, I'm sure they have great like succession plans, so like they should be fine.
Yeah, they got their new CEOs already. It seems like it was pretty amicable. Like, oh, it's just time for me to leave type deal. Moving on. Hey guys, you sick of hearing about PalWorld on our show yet? Not too bad.
Moon's
We're talking
favorite
about
game.
PalWorld. PalWorld got some sales numbers from their Twitter account. Total number of players exceeds 19 million. It's been less than 2 weeks since PalWorld was released. Thank you. Steam, 12 million copies. This is 12 million sales on Steam. And then Xbox, 7 million players, which, what's it called? That it very much includes like Game Pass in that equation. Man, this game, huh? Am I right, guys? Pretty crazy.
That's insane. But I will say this is very impressive, but it's definitely slowed down, which like it's going to, it has to, but still 19 million is insane. Like there's no other way around it.
Yeah, this is definitely like feels like the success. It feels like it's starting to like not fall off a little. The flash in the pan moment has settled. Yeah. Like it's like okay, it's kind of reaching that point where like okay, it wasn't gonna be PUBG like that concurrent peak.
Even if you take away Game Pass, 12 million is absurd. Like you know what I mean? So you take away the Game Pass, you can't say like, well, Game Pass is like making the numbers better. No, 12 million on Steam alone is just insane for this type of game. For any game, like 12 million is a lot. And the fact that this game was like, yeah, we have 12 million. So like, I'm like, it's very impressive. And like everything, it's nice to know like most of the like Nintendo and the copying, all that's in the past now. And like people are just enjoying the game and like they have the roadmap, which we went over. Like it's just cool to see. Hopefully they just keep going at it and they stay afloat and like it just gets better over the months.
And Xbox is like fully supporting them. Like they got like their own people from Xbox coming over to help them, I guess, with patches and whatnot. Because I guess the Xbox version is suffering a lot more from bugs than the PC version. So now they got like these experts to help them get these patches out to make the Xbox version better, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, is that going to like signify a relationship and acquisition, or is it just going to be like we're helping you?
I think it's just helping because they're like, hey, you gave us your game on Game Pass. It's now doing really well for us, so we're going to help you out. So people will continue to keep playing PalWorld on Game Pass.
Yeah, so keep in mind, Xbox also did this with Baldur's Gate, where they send people out there to help work on the port. It doesn't mean that Xbox will pick up Larian Studios now. Anything like that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you don't know.
That'd be insane.
Moving on. Fraser Gilbert over at Pure Xbox has this huge insider report hints at 10 plus Ubisoft games planned for the next few years. Yesterday, I saw the publication of a big report from Insider Gaming about the current state of Ubisoft from an internal perspective, with suggestions that morale. So sorry. Morale is at an all-time low. And there have been concerns about things like delayed, canceled games, management issues, and the potential of employee cuts at some point in the future. That said, it isn't all doom and gloom, as the report highlights one of Ubisoft's best lineups of games in recent memory for the next few years. Now, here's the list of like kind of the current release schedule. Star Wars Outlaws, first half of 2024. Does it hit? Just quick yes or no.
Yes.
No.
I think May.
May.
Well, I saw there was another article today. I don't think we linked it, but there's another article today where, I mean, it's in that article. Tom Henderson still says it's May of this year. or like someone said it was May of this year. That Tom Henderson article says first half, and then some today. I would have to find it. I think Akami tweeted out said that it was supposedly May of this year.
See May, but like I don't know. I feel like this game looks farther out than it was.
I think it's like October.
October. They got Assassin's Creed. The other one was Assassin's Creed second half of 2024.
The Star Wars Outlaws just feels like an October game, or around that area.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Okay, Jack, you can go.
No, I was gonna say like Ubisoft doesn't give a shit and like how many games they release in the holiday. Like they release Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs at like the same day or like 2 days apart. So I think if they do like October for Outlaws, November for Assassin's Creed, it works out for them.
Yeah, but my argument there is that Watch Dogs didn't do well. I think they realized that strategy isn't good for them.
I said that's where I would push back a little because you're talking Watch Dogs is a popular IP, but you're talking like a big Star Wars game and a big Assassin's Creed game. These are like you're hoping to cross the $1 billion in revenue marks, like the Assassin's Creed Valhalla did. I feel like you just don't put them that close next to each other. That's why I feel like if Outlaws is not this first half, I think it's 2025. I do not think they release it next to Assassin's Creed. So
Assassin's Creed gets delayed.
I think Assassin's Creed's coming out this year. I think it's too much. They've been working on the game for way too long.
Would it be too close if Outlaws was August and Assassin's Creed was like October, November? Is that still too close?
No, that's pretty far. I don't think they can be a month apart. I don't think you can do an October, November, or a November, December. I think you need at least 2 to 3 months. So yeah, if you were like July or like August, and then you were like Assassin's Creed in November, I think that would still work. But I just don't think you want to have the situations where like EA, where you're like, here's Titanfall and here's Battlefield back to back. Like you just don't want, these IPs are too big to share the same because they're both going for the same players. The Ubisoft players likes these giant open world games. Sure, you're going to get specific Star Wars fans and specific Assassin's Creed fans, but like if you're a Ubisoft fan, you want to play both of these games.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting to say the least. That Ubisoft is a very like complex company with like 7 billion studios, 7 billion employees. It feels like. So I'm very curious to see like where this all like kind of lines up for them. They do have a bunch more here. Ghost Recon mainline entry 2025-2026. I'm leaning towards 2025 because it has been a while since the last Ghost Recon game. Now, granted, that one was Breakpoint. That was kind of a disappointment, especially for like Ubisoft's viewpoint. Like they were not happy with the sales of that game, but it makes sense for like 2025. Next is the GOAT, Far Cry, one of the only Ubisoft franchises I like. Far Cry mainline entry 2025-2026, and also Far Cry multiplayer game 2025-2026. I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't know why they keep trying to make Far Cry multiplayer. Like they tried that in 5, it sucked. But hey, I mean, if we're going for another Far Cry game, like, what do you guys think? Like,
I mean, apparently this is the extraction shooter that they want to do with Far Cry. Which I think if you're doing a multiplayer Far Cry game, it has to be something like that with a survival aspect. It can't just be your classic like Call of Duty Far Cry. Like it's not gonna work. You need to have like something like a Tarkov or like an extraction type. Which I really hope Far Cry would be 2025. But like. Then it's never gonna win Game of the Year, but like, is it ever gonna win Game of the Year?
It was never gonna win Game of the Year.
GTA,
2021 was a slow year, and Far Cry 6 wasn't nominated for anything.
I just don't want to like. It's not a high possibility, but there's a possibility like we get to 2025, like the Soggies, and like I can't sit here and be like Far Cry was my Game of the Year in the year that had like GTA 6, like on this podcast.
I'll have Judas and
like I'd get bullied.
If you did put Far Cry as your goatee for 2025, I would kick you off the podcast.
Exactly. I'd find a way. I'm trying to avoid ever going down that crossroads.
Man, 2025 is my year. Judas and new Far Cry, like I'm in for 2025.
Do you even like Far Cry that much to where it would be your game? Okay, but like as a goatee, how far was 6 on your goatee list that year?
It was not high.
Yeah,
it was like,
there we go.
It was like 12.
Do you think 7's gonna like? Oh wait, now this is gonna hit.
If they do what they're saying, they said like Tom Henderson's been keeping up with it. And he's like, And Ubisoft themselves have said they want to reinvent the Far Cry formula, which it's needed it badly for like a decade at this point. So like, I love the Far Cry games. I love the villains. I love the stealth. If you can just give me new aspects of Far Cry, and it's literally not a map game every time. If it was a map game, I'd still play it and be like, awesome, I enjoy this. But like, I'm so ready for something new where it's like, it's going to be long enough, like 2025, like 4 years. Usually Far Cries are like 2.5, 3 years between. So like, they're gonna have extra dev time. If they're really working, it's gonna be a new engine. Like, I feel like they have things lined up to be like, wow, this could be not a Far Cry reboot, but something in a direction where it's like people will be like, it's not just Far Cry 3 for the 6th time.
Moving on. We have Assassin's Creed. They got a lot of Assassin's Creed. I'll just do all the Assassin's Creed at once. We have Hex and Invictus for 25, 26. I don't even remember Invictus. Was Invictus Roman or what?
I can't remember Invictus. I only remember Hex.
Maybe that
sounds like another mobile game or something.
Yeah, probably. And then Black Flag Remake is a to be determined. And then several new Assassin's Creed games for to be determined. Guys, pretend to be shocked. They're making more Assassin's Creed games.
Well, and also, I just searched up Invictus is their multiplayer game, so they're trying to make everything multiplayer.
I forgot they were making that.
Jet. Jet had that off the noggin. You know, we're frauds. We didn't know that.
Don't let
you skipped the Splinter Cell remake.
Guy.
No, I skipped it. I wanted to do all the Assassin's Creed at once. That's what I mean. I'm a good podcast host. I don't. Hex is the one that's actually interesting to me because that takes place during the witch trials, which I don't know. That's always a period of history that like, kind of hits for me.
Has like some horror aspects or something.
Yeah, Codename Red and Hex are like the ones that I'm most interested in for a franchise I don't really care about. So I don't know. There's so much Assassin's Creed.
Do you think the Japanese Assassin's Creed this year is better or worse than Rise of the Ronin?
For me personally or critically?
Critically. You think when critics get these two games in their hands,
critics
which one
love
are they
Assassin's
Creed. This is the better Japanese game?
Critics love Assassin's Creed. Team Ninja, here's the thing. Team Ninja games are kind of janky. So I think
you said they love it, but Mirage got like a 70.
Mirage got well. Mirage is different because that was when they were like, oh, we want to go back to like classic Assassin's Creed games. And that was a weird situation where like the fans were like, oh yeah, this is exactly what we wanted. The critics were like, no, go back. But like you look at like Odyssey and like Origins, the ones that are in the style of what Codename Red is going to be, those scored extremely high. Odyssey was up for Game of the Year.
Yeah,
so
it was.
I don't know.
Valhalla was, I think, 82 or something. It was a little lower.
Yeah, Valhalla. I think they kind of learned with Valhalla that was too big. So I think they want to. Hopefully, they want to.
Well, let's hope. But they've been working on this game for like 6 years. So.
I think if this Assassin's Creed hits, this is going to be like a coughing baby versus nitrogen bomb situation.
For Rise of the Ronin?
In terms of the critics.
Oh, in terms of the critics. Okay. Because like personally, I'm way more excited for Rise of the Ronin. But like,
if it hits, if the game sucks, it's gonna be like okay, whatever.
Critics love Assassin's Creed Fusion. You gotta remember, especially like the Odyssey team. They love that.
I think they're good games, and the Odyssey deservingly was up there for Game of the Year that year. It definitely wasn't going to have a chance of winning, but like
because that was the one that reinvented the formula.
No, that was Origins.
Well, Origins started it, but like
Odyssey, Odyssey continued it.
Odyssey's one of my favorite RPGs ever. Like I really like Odyssey.
Yeah, I tried to get into it. I think it's just like I don't really care for.
You chose the wrong main character.
I like the Odyssey.
Oh my god, it doesn't make a difference.
I promise you, Cassandra makes the biggest difference in the world in that game. You can ask any Assassin's Creed Odyssey player.
I'm telling you, my problem wasn't with the character.
Yeah, my problem wasn't with the character either because
I just didn't like the combat.
I got to a point where I was underleveled severely on going through the main story, and they were paywalling me. They were paywalling me to get to the level I needed to be to progress the story.
Oh, you could go grind, or you could spend a nice $5.99.
Yeah, so like I dropped the game after.
I
don't like the game up to that point, but like I was like, I'm not gonna be grinding in a fucking Assassin's Creed game.
I think Codename Red and Hex are the most likely I'll ever be able to get into Assassin's Creed because those settings speak to me a lot more. And I can't choose the wrong main character, Fusion. Jeez.
Right, good.
Assassin's Creed peaked.
Oh my god, what is
Exactly.
No,
Bro
I
is
just
taking shots.
it's not, I'm not. I'm just like that's like it's not a hatred to you. It's just that's one of the big things I talked about with people with Odyssey is like you have to pick Cassandra. Like it's just a different video game if you don't pick Cassandra.
Justice for Alexios, am I right?
No,
I
Alexios
liked
sucks.
Alexios. Oh my god. Now I'm
I
even
went with
more like this
Alexios.
game.
He was okay. I had no
I like
issues with Alexios.
Alexios. Yeah, same. My problem was just the combat. I wasn't a
Cassandra
fan
is
of
cool,
it.
but like there's
is-
nothing wrong with Alexios.
It's funny you don't like the combat because I think that combat is really good. Like and all the special abilities you can use and the chains you can
You
get.
know what the
which-
problem with that
I
combat
think
is?
my problem it was just
It's an
there was not
Assassin's
enough
Creed game.
impact. Yeah, that's also it's just like Assassin's Creed as an RPG. I don't know. That was always kind of a hard sell for me. But like I don't know. It's just like nothing felt weighty. Like everything felt floaty in some way. I can't quite explain it. There was not enough meaty hits. That makes no sense. You know
Like,
what I mean?
Valhalla kind of fixed it when they brought back assassinations, but in Odyssey, I kind of just felt like I didn't feel like an assassin. I felt like a fucking mercenary. I was like, I'm just beating people up. I'm not even doing
Well,
cool
that's what
shit.
you were.
Yeah, but like, it's Assassin's Creed. I want to be an assassin, bro.
I mean,
about-
when's the last time they were ever an assassin? They stopped being assassins a decade ago.
Yo, when was the last time Assassin's Creed was
Mirage
actually
brought
good?
it back. Mirage brought it back. We can't start an Assassin's Creed brawl in this podcast, guys. Let's be careful. Black Flag remake. That's a to be determined. I mean, was that like 2026 beyond? Like, I feel like that's pretty far out.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, I'm interested in that one. I played a bit of Black Flag. I enjoyed it. And then last one. This is probably the one I'm most interested in is Splinter Cell remake. In a world with no Metal Gear, I'm looking for anything with stealth. And I mean, if they can nail this remake, which I mean, I can't imagine it would be that difficult to nail. I assume this is a 2025 game. They've been working on it for quite a while, and it is a remake, so it's going to have that shorter development cycle. So I think it will hit that 2025, and I'm really excited because people always talk so high. I tried a bit of the original Splinter Cell, didn't really hit for me. So I think if a remake were to happen, hopefully they can like tighten up a lot of the weirder aspects of that game that just weren't nailed for me.
Yeah, I never played it, but I always heard about it. I knew it was like the other like game you can go to besides Metal Gear.
I saw
think
people saying
even
that
when,
was better than Metal Gear. I'm like, okay, let's calm down.
I know when Metal Gear finished, I don't know what Ubisoft game it was, but they had the guy from Splinter Cell do like a nod to him.
Oh yeah. It was what is his name?
I don't know.
I think his name is Splinter Cell.
Mr. Splinter Cell himself.
Who are you talking about?
Splinter
Exactly.
Cell.
That's what we're trying to figure.
Sam Fisher?
Sam Fisher. That's it.
Mr.
know why.
Splinter Cell sounds
I
better.
thought you
bro.
were trying to name some villain or something. I was like,
No, it's like the main.
He said
character of the
Mr.
series.
Splinter
So,
Cell.
I don't know what game it was, but they had like the like your dispatcher, and she was like, "Oh yeah, the other." They were talking about Snake. They're like, "Yeah, he retired," and they did a callback to him, which I thought was pretty
Yeah, that
cool.
was Ghost Recon Wildlands. I think they did that.
Far Cry 5 also has a lot of Sam Fisher stuff in it.
I think
You big
one
Splinter
of the
Cell
Rainbow
guy,
Six
Fisher?
skins.
I've never played them, but I'm like because I'm such a Ubisoft guy. I know like Sam Fisher's in everything. Like Rainbow Six Siege, there's
Oscars.
Sam Fisher stuff. Like
Oh my god, that mobile game where they had the
like he's in
Ubisoft
everything, but he hadn't
All-Stars.
had a game in a decade. Like what are we doing?
They can nail this. I think they can. It doesn't seem like a hard one. And then we got some sales. This is pretty quick. So Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora had about 1.9 million players, about 133 million dollars in revenue, and Assassin's Creed Mirage is at 5 million players with about 250 million in revenue. Not too surprising. They did seem to fare decently well, especially Mirage. And Pandora, that was like after a month at 1.9. So it seems like I think they're happy with that. This article weirdly says, so they say in the article, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown was a big success from a critical perspective, but apparently not so much from a financial one, reportedly selling around 300,000 copies so far. And my argument is it's been 2 weeks, if even. So I feel like it's kind of hard to just say, oh, it's a failure. It only sold 300K, but like, I think that's kind of around what I expected for like the first week.
Yeah, but this game's not going to sell much more. I don't think.
I mean,
I don't think this is a game where this is a game where you need a very a lot in the first few weeks to keep going. Like it's gonna sell 300K, and it's like I feel like people who wanted it bought it. No one's going to be like, hey, that Prince of Persia. Well, I haven't yet, but the majority of people are gonna be like, if they wanted Prince of Persia, they have already played it.
I think, but also sales would probably help it get maybe cross over to that million mark, is if there's a bunch of sales, and Ubisoft does sales
because it was only $50.
I mean, that $50 is still that's $10 off of 60, so it's not that crazy of a deal. I think when you see that game go for 35, 30, that's when you're gonna really start.
And then Moon got it for $30. I'm pretty sure. I think it was $30 day 2.
Yeah, but that was QVC. QVC always does weird sales like that. They did that for
no
Mario Wonder. Mario Wonder went on sale literally the day before. I was like, what the fuck is going? How did the QVC do this? What are they going on? Kind of.
It takes 3 weeks for your game to deliver.
They're
that's the only problem. We'll put this game on sale and then you won't get it for 2 weeks.
But yeah, Ubisoft, they seem to be doing something. Very interesting content to watch at the moment. Moving on, Joe Blackburn is leaving Bungie. He had a little thread, but the major part here is the ritual will be especially meaningful to me personally, as I will also serve as a moment to pass the torch of Destiny 2 game director to the next era of leadership as I head on a new adventure outside the walls of Bungie. And I don't know too much about Joe Blackburn, but I know he is a Bungie OG, kind of back in the Halo 2 days, all that type of stuff. And this very much seems like Bungie is going through some internal changes. PlayStation especially, I feel like they kind of want to get their hands more onto Bungie. I haven't seen anything about a successor to take over as Destiny 2 game director. Oh wait, okay, here we go. As we hit to end month, Tyson Green will take the reins as Destiny 2 game director. Don't know too much about Tyson Green, but yeah, this is very interesting.
I think Green's been there for a long time as well.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he just as long as why am I blanking? You just said his name.
Joe Blackburn.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tyson Green's been since the Halo days. Yeah, he was there from Combat Evolve. I'm almost certain. I know his name, so.
Yeah, no, these are OGs, so it makes sense, kind of succession of command in that regard, for the experience.
I see a lot of people think Joe Blackburn will go to a different role in Sony. I was seeing people saying he could go to a live service role over at Sony or something like that.
I mean, it is interesting. That would make sense, but also, he seems to be just outright leaving. He's outright leaving Bungie. I don't know if he wants to stay within Sony. He might just go to a whole nother studio, or maybe make his own studio. Who knows? But yeah, interesting stuff. Finally, for the news, Neil Druckmann officially confirms The Last of Us Part 3 is happening. Kinda. There was Okami puts that out on Twitter, but then there was a community note. Neil Druckmann did not confirm that The Last of Us Part 3 is happening. He said he has a concept. It's so stupid. It's he very clearly says they have
an beef with you, by the way.
Why?
For a little and behind the scenes, in this doc we have big topics and small topics. This thing should have shot up this list, somewhere right over the new Blizzard president. No one cares about that. This should have went up. Oh my god.
He just, hey guys, we're making Last of Us Part 3. Oh, the sky is blue. This is not.
I don't know. This, he just finally confirmed it. We're talking I don't know. This could be a big
Anyone
game.
who has a single brain cell knew this game was coming.
No, Jim Ryan talk isn't here right now, and you're gonna somehow bring Jim Ryan up. So.
Dark,
I wish
settle
Jim
down.
Ryan was here, but I can't.
All I know is I remember Dark. I'm pretty sure it was Dark Moon. A couple people on this podcast 2 weeks ago were Part 3 is the next game. There's no way it's not. And I was nope, it's a new IP. Part 3 is still far off. And I'm pretty sure,
Yo, we still don't know if what's
no, he said it. He said this in the clip. If you watch the clip I sent, he said that they're working on something not Last of Us, and now they finally have a concept for Part 3. Part 3 is PS6 probably at this point. It's
I don't know.
far off.
I can see Part 3 coming out before whatever else they're working.
Nah, you're insane. You're insane.
If you watch the clip, I think it's pretty clear. The new IP is
next. The new IP is 100%.
Thank God. I need a break from Last of Us.
Because I'm fine with it. I want a new IP. But I was also just thinking, oh, it's gonna be like a new IP. I don't know how you feel about this because like I'm trying to think of because they've been doing Last of Us for so long and like Uncharted for so long. When like I'm somehow scared for this new IP of it. Like, will it hit as hard as like Uncharted and The Last of Us? Like, they have to come out of the gate and like have really good characters and like I trust Naughty Dog to do it, but it's just like I don't know. There's something sitting in my pit right now that's scaring me.
What? What is that?
I don't know.
That is not the phrase I would use. Okay. But yeah, no. I mean, I think if any studio could do it, it is probably Naughty Dog. Like they can probably create a new cast of characters and get you immediately invested in it. I've heard like the idea of like maybe the next game is a spy thriller, and I'd be down for that. But also, it's like, oh, that's kind of just Uncharted again. And so I don't know where they go. I keep hearing space.
Did they go happy?
No.
Like, will they ever make a happy game again? Like, what?
Uncharted was happy.
Well, yeah, Uncharted was pretty happy, but like,
I have a prediction. I think whatever the new IP is, I don't think Neil's gonna direct it. I think he sticks to Last of Us, and he lets someone else within Naughty Dog direct this new IP.
You're asking a lot out of Neil there. I don't know.
Hey Neil, don't work on this new thing.
I think Neil just loves directing and like loves doing things at Naughty Dog. Like he loves Naughty Dog.
He's gonna direct Last of Us Part 3. He can wait.
I mean, he just likes to put hands on everything.
There's enough Naughty Dog to go around, bro.
He's okay. Here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna see. Okay, the new IP trailer is gonna happen. When it does the credit rolls, it's gonna start with executive producer Neil Druckmann, and then it's gonna do the game director. I bet that's what's gonna happen. I don't know. I mean, hey, listen, I'm down for it. I like Last of Us Part 2, and I know, and not as much as you, Fusion. I know that's like your all-time favorite game, but I do enjoy that game quite a bit. Even though you tried to put words in my mouth that I apparently don't like it.
No, I never said that.
You're like, I remember you were like, I always felt a little stigma from you. It's like, what stigma? I like the game.
There's something there. And you also don't like Uncharted 4 nearly as much as you should. There's just something.
Oh my
That's crazy. That's insane given his name.
Bro's like, the Uncharted wolf does not like Uncharted that much.
No, I said Uncharted 4. You love Uncharted, especially 3, and like I just feel like Uncharted 4 was like, I don't know. I just feel like Uncharted 4. This isn't a Naughty Dog spiel, but I just feel like Uncharted 4 is not underrated at this point, but like no one kind of brings up Uncharted 4 anymore, and I feel like Uncharted 4 is still one of the best looking games ever. Has some of the most fun combat. Sure. Like that game's really good.
I love Uncharted 4. You kidding me? Like that is an incredible video game. It's just that I like 3 and 2 more. Like that's really it. But they're still 10s. Like I would give all those games 10s. I'm an Uncharted fanboy. You know me, man. But yeah, Naughty Dog, very interested to see. Hopefully we see their new IP soon. That's all I'm kind of thinking of. It's like, man, Last of Us Part 2 is 2020. So I assume maybe the next PS showcase.
People were like, this is gonna like the new IP will be late 2025. I'm like, I don't even see that. Like, I just don't.
I mean, hopefully it's sooner than that.
And I hope it's not next year. I don't want to see like GTA 6. I just hate that I don't hate that it's coming. I just hate that maybe it will be a Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom situation where like GTA 6 comes out and it still doesn't win Game of the Year, like something overtakes it.
Okay, buddy.
I don't know. It's just I just feel like any game that comes out next year that I'm excited for is not gonna have a chance.
No, I listen. I wouldn't go like the GTA 5 was like kind of the best GTA in 2013, but like Last of Us still won a lot of Game of the Year awards that year. It just depends on the game.
So, Future, you think the new IP is this year?
No,
because you say you don't want it to come out next year.
Yeah, I would say like
he's saying he doesn't want it next year.
I think it would be 2026, like March or something. A lot of Naughty Dog games. Well, I don't know about a lot, but they're usually like earlier on in the year. Wasn't Uncharted 4 like March or May?
So Uncharted 4 was May, my birthday month. That was a
Last of Us was June, and it was supposed to be February.
Last of Us 2 was June. Let me try to think. Uncharted 3 was November. Last of Us 1 was June. Uncharted 2, I actually forget the release date of. I'm a fraud. And then Uncharted 1 was about like November, October. I don't
My
know why I know this
timeline
from the States.
is like maybe it hits. I think if it does hit 2025, like this new IP, it's late next year. But I think it's early 2026. I think part 3 is every single console generation at Sony has ended on The Last of Us. So like I could obviously PS5 ends on The Last of Us, and then there's a Last of Us remastered thing, Last of Us Part 3 remastered on the PS6, just like we have here.
Oh man!
Just like they did with the original
Disgusting.
Last of Us on the
fact that you
PS3
mentioned
and the
that is
PS4.
disgusting.
Don't put that
Not a
into the
remaster, but
world.
like a director's cut.
It's the same thing.
I still
mean,
think
like,
that. Okay, listen. Last of Us Part 2 remaster would probably not get that much hate online if it was just called director's cut. That's my personal opinion.
I'm in like more of a Ghost situation where like Ghost literally came out in July on the PS4, and then it had like a PS5 upgrade. Like I'm in that.
Yeah, I can say something like that. I love Sony. But yeah, enough talk about Sony. Talk about Nintendo for our topic of the
go.
show. I'm reviving Jat. He's been asleep. Let's wake him up.
He has been asleep.
Yes.
Fusion, you can rest. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, Jet.
No. I am ready for the Nintendo talk.
He's alive again.
So we did our state of Xbox. We did our state of PlayStation. So let's end it with a state of Nintendo. Nintendo going into this year, you got the Switch. There is the rumors of the new console. We're going to talk all about that, talk about all their franchises, see what could come back, what's going to stay dormant, all that good stuff. Very excited. But let's start off real quick. Just a kind of tone setter. From an objective standpoint, I'm going to ask each of the panel, how will Nintendo's 2024 fare? What will their year look like in comparison both to other years of the Switch and also just to their PlayStation and Xbox's 2024? How will Nintendo look in 2024? Dark, I'm going to start with you.
I think they have a pretty decent 2024. It could be great if the Switch 2 comes out. If not, I think this is a solid year regardless. In comparison to Sony and Xbox, I feel like even if the Switch 2 doesn't come out this year, this is probably the best out of the.
Fusion, how about you?
Let me think of this logically.
I can go back to you if you need.
No, I assume I do think the Switch 2 is this year, which is like a big bonus for them. So honestly, my answer depends on that launch lineup. If they're going to launch with like Mario, which hopefully not. Oh, actually, I guess they can because I don't have Mario on my Fantasy Critic. That's the only reason I'd say not. But like, if they
Crazy.
are releasing with like a Mario, or like if that Metroid Prime 4 does come out, like it's gonna be a super cool year for Nintendo. But I could also see like if the Switch 2 doesn't come out and it's like early next year, it could be like not a down year for Nintendo because Nintendo doesn't have down years anymore, but like just an okay year compared to an Xbox, for example.
Yeah, I actually fully agree with that very much. It's like my viewpoint is I think they could have either the best of the three or kind of like in the middle of the three. And also just like in general for the Switch life cycle, this could very much depend on if the Switch 2 releases this year, which we will get into that specific point later on. Moon, how about you? Objectively.
It is entirely dependent on if the Switch 2 does launch this year, because as of right now, and granted, I also said this with Sony, the only thing on Nintendo's calendar is 3 remakes and 1 original. So it's not the most full of calendars. But that, once again, like what was I gonna say? Like, granted, even Sony was all third party, so we don't know what their first party lineup is. It's so far 2024 is the year of all the third party games right now, and remasters and remakes. But
Yep.
if the Switch 2, if this is all just because it's a lull period because they're waiting to announce the Switch 2, and then once the Switch 2 is announced, they're gonna announce all these launch titles of like Metroid Prime 4, a new 3D Mario, yada yada yada, then yeah, that's gonna be a good year. But if the Switch 2 isn't until next year, it's probably gonna be what we're seeing right now, a bunch of remakes and remasters and some smaller stuff. Which then is like, if you're a big Nintendo fan, then it's a pretty decent year because you're getting things like Thousand Year Door. But to someone like me who's very casual with Nintendo, it's just like, it's okay. I mean, I'm still looking forward to Thousand Year Door.
Oh yeah, you are. Yeah. So, Jab, what about you, real quick, before I get into it?
Right. So I think Switch 2 or no Switch 2, I think Metroid Prime 4 is gonna be their holiday game either way, like, or at least one of their holiday games, and that game seems to be like They've been working on it for so long. It's gonna be a banger. That's what I'm thinking, and I think that Nintendo's gonna kill it this year either way.
So let's get into kind of the specifics. First, I want to actually go over a lot of the games that we have dates for. Jacob Segal over at BGR kind of has a big like Switch roundup of everything that we kind of know at the moment. So games with like actual dates or windows, Prince of Persia and Another Code Recollection, those already came out. Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake, that's a fun one. Unicorn Overlord, Princess Peach Showtime, Splatoon 3 Side Order DLC, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, and Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. I forgot about that one. And then from there, we have the games that don't have release dates, are just Windows at the moment, or not even Windows, just 2024. Another Crab's Treasure, Apollo Justice, that came out, Blade Chimera, Braid Anniversary Edition, Core Keeper, Deca Police, which I am still waiting to hear more about that game. I'm right there with you, Moon, where I'm like, where is this game? Eden Chronicle 100 Heroes, Little Kitty Big City. Man, they are just pulling out all of them. Moonstone Island, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, Penny's Big Breakaway, Planet of Lana, Saga Emerald Beyond, and Shantae Advanced Risky Revolution. Now, you look at that lineup, it's like, wow, okay, Nintendo's looking bad. But like the big thing to remember, Nintendo is very much we reveal stuff the year of, we reveal stuff when they come out. And that gets into the directs. And the real question right now is, when are we going to get our directs? Now, I did hear a lot of like theories and speculations that maybe no directs this year, or like maybe like less directs, maybe no direct in June, instead do a Nintendo Switch presentation, kind of like what they did in January 2017 for the console then. I mean, what do you guys think? Like, what are the directs we get in this year?
I know, just to confirm, that list you just read off, those weren't exclusive to Switch, right?
Yeah, they're not exclusive.
Okay,
like,
I was
those
gonna
are
say,
games
because I was like, is Unicorn Overlord exclusive? I was kind of scared for a second.
I think that one actually is.
No, I looked it up. It's on everything.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I thought I was the same way. I thought Unicorn Overlord was an exclusive, and then I saw someone mentioning, "Yeah, I'm gonna get over Unicorn Overlord on Xbox." I'm like, "It's not on Xbox." And then I looked at my app, my Game Chat backup, my Game Chat app. I'm like, "Yeah, it's coming to everything," which is really weird to me.
On the direct, yeah, I thought it was exclusive for a moment too. But on the direct side, like, I know we have, they have to. Like, I feel like they can't just do.
They're not
like
going to live off 3 remasters and a Princess Peach spinoff.
Yeah.
Even if Switch 2 wasn't like, even if Switch 2 was this year, I don't think they hold off to be like, we're just gonna do one big show. Like, I think, I know like it's still up in the air and it's rumors, and usually like it's more in the open by now, but like I still think we could really see a direct this like upcoming week.
Granted, with the way we've been going with this podcast, it's going to happen in the next week, because that's been our record so far.
That's what I like. Yeah. That's, we're making the predictions before they announce it. I don't know. I think that's fun.
Yeah, and just looking at like historical data, like in 2023, 2022, it was on the 9th. 2023, it was on the February 8th. So it could be 7th or 8th this year too.
What days do they normally do? Is it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Like, what day do they do?
Usually Wednesday, Thursday.
That's the 7th or the 8th this year, so.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo's... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Dirk, please.
I think there's going to be 3 directs this year. And they'll probably... I don't think they'll do a special presentation for the Switch. I would think the Switch 2 will be an ender for something. Probably like the second one, if I had to guess.
Yeah, that's kind of my viewpoint. I think if we were going to have a Switch-style presentation, like, they don't need to do that. They kind of needed to, because, like, the Wii U was in dire straits. They needed to get as much confidence as possible for the Switch. And now, the Switch is doing better than ever, so I think they could very easily announce a Switch 2 via, like, not via direct. They're probably going to have, like, a YouTube video announcing it, and then it's like, hey, if you want to see more of the games, the June direct, we're going to show off a lot more of the Switch 2 launch lineup and, like, kind of and beyond.
Do you think they're gonna have another trailer where there's like rooftop parties and shit?
There will 1000% be that. Yep, that's the audience to go for. They who has rooftop parties, by the way? You guys ever think about that?
Bougie ass people, bro.
We're not cool enough for rooftop parties.
100%. I want to like save the Switch 2 talk, like all that, for a little bit later. Right now, I want to talk about NSO, kind of Nintendo's like online subscription-based service. I mean, do we see additions, new consoles added, or do they kind of just coast off like N64, Genesis, SNES, all that stuff?
Now they're gonna do GameCube. There's no way they're not doing it.
There is no shot they do GameCube.
They're gonna do GameCube in the future. I don't know when. I don't know if it'll be this year, but I definitely think GameCube is in the works.
They could sell GameCube games by themselves. That's my viewpoint. I just can't.
I mean,
imagine,
yeah, but like, there's no way that they don't.
I mean, maybe in the far future. Not even far future. I could see like Switch 2. Maybe they like hype it up like, hey, GameCube NSO. But if you're gonna have GameCube, that's another tier. Like, there's no shot that's in the
I think we've reached the limit on that because they're obviously, how many GameCube game remakes have we had now with Thousand Year Door? They're clearly going more into the. Yeah, they're just gonna remake any kind of GameCube they want. They're not gonna stick it on a service. I think we've reached that barrier. It's like, okay, we got to N64. There's that hard barrier right there. Anything beyond that is gonna get like a remake.
Well, there is Dreamcast.
Like that, more to it.
There's Dreamcast. I think DS is a possibility.
Yeah, DS.
I guess it would be cool. But the thing with DS is like,
granted, they just remade Mario versus Donkey Kong, so we're there's that barrier again. Like they're not.
Oh yeah, Mario versus Donkey Kong was GBA.
Okay,
that was
yeah.
That's a weird ass remake. Let's just be real here. I don't know what they're doing with that game.
If they really want DS to like pop off, you have to bring Pokemon.
Yeah, that's not
do they bring Pokemon to Eidos?
They would have brought that. Like, you would say that about the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance ones. They didn't bring those over. Just insane.
I mean, it's still a possibility that they do it, but like,
how does the Pokemon? I don't understand the Pokemon company. Why don't you just re-release those games? People
has money on the table.
They did that on the 3DS and people fucking bought them. I don't understand them. Pokemon.
I think it's a whole Pokemon Home thing, and there's probably a duplication glitch that they probably want to avoid.
Yeah, I know, but like, who fucking cares? Just let them duplicate. I don't give a shit. I want to play Emerald again. Hate this company. But a company I don't hate. Ah, damn it, that was not a good transition. I do kind of hate Xbox. I'm kidding. But Nintendo and Xbox. There's a big partnership. The rumors of like Nintendo, Xbox doing a big like deal together, especially in regards to not Skull and Bones, Sea of Thieves. I keep getting Sea of Thieves and Skull and Bones mixed up. That is so disrespectful to Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush coming to Switch. Do we think those rumors have merit? Is that a 2024 deal?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know about Sea of Thieves.
Like I said, I don't know about Sea of Thieves.
I believe in
Hi-Fi
Rush. Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush, I feel like is like a certain. Like I very much see that as kind of nice. Like,
yeah, there was that data mine that showed Hi-Fi Rush definitely coming.
Xbox losing their mascot, man. Like, what's up?
I could see it. I don't know. I don't know how you guys.
John Halo.
I can see them giving Nintendo Banjo. Or it'd be like a Nintendo and Xbox thing. Like they make. I don't know if they'll even. I'm thinking they might even let Nintendo do it, but like
that's just
it'll be exclusive.
I feel like that's a dream. Like you just dreamt that.
I mean, keep in mind, Banjo and Smash was also a dream.
I'll say this. I think Banjo would do better on Nintendo than Xbox, but like Nintendo is not the company where like Microsoft goes over. It's like, hey, you want to do something with our IP? They're like, get out of here.
Other than putting like Hi-Fi Rush on the Switch, Xbox and Nintendo aren't like working together. Like it's just not happening.
Well, I'm not saying that's the reason why. I just feel like Xbox. I feel like they clearly want to do something with Banjo, and I feel like Nintendo's the way to go about it.
I feel like you have Toys for Bob and the million people you just brought into your company to do it.
Oh yeah, Toys for Bob's doing Spyro, so yeah, let them cook.
Let's go! Spyro's always better than Banjo. I mean, we need both. Let's get both in there. Next up, I want to talk about. I think we're ready to talk about the Switch 2. Let's just get into the real meat and potatoes. First off, is it even going to be called the Switch 2? I think yes. I think they're just going to say Nintendo Switch 2.
It gotta be the Super Switch.
Yeah,
the Super Switch would be way cooler.
It's gonna be Super Switch or Switch 2 because the Switch name is just too ingrained now in the public eye. It's like you can't abandon that name. It's too good a branding.
It's too valuable. I think Nintendo. My viewpoint is like Nintendo wants to avoid a Wii U. The Wii U failed because it was just they put a U at the end of Wii and people were confused. If you put as simple as Nintendo Switch 2, not even a grandma is like, oh, Switch 2, that's the next one. Like that makes sense. In versus like Wii U, it's like, is it an add-on? How do I get the tablet by itself? Like they saw the issue in that regard, so it just makes sense to make a very clear break. This is Switch 2.
They're gonna do the Nintendo Switch NX, bro.
Oh my god, that actually goes hard. I just thought the NX was like the coolest project code name. It's like, come on, that is so raw. Jet, do you have a thought?
Yes, I think that Nintendo has learned, and now especially since the Wii U to Switch era, like they even had like a shift in leadership with presidents, and this Nintendo feels a lot less like, I guess, risky. Where like obviously we know it's gonna be, yeah, they're conservative. Like they're not gonna do some weird ass gimmick by totally abandoning the Switch gimmick. No, yeah, the Switch 2 just seems like the safest.
Yeah, you look at Furukawa, he is much more of a businessman in comparison to Iwata, God rest his soul. But like Iwata was very much like he wanted to do like the cool, weird stuff. Furukawa is very much like, as a businessman, makes the most sense to just say Nintendo Switch 2. But I would like Super Switch. Super Switch is awesome. Moving on. When is this thing even going to be revealed? That's the question. If it is revealed this year, we all agree it's revealed at the very least this year, right?
Yes.
Yep.
I just can't imagine it doesn't. But the question is when. I feel like March, like right at the end of that financial
March
quarter,
is always
get that
kind of
last.
like lingering.
You get that big financial boost.
Either March or Summer Direct.
You think in a Nintendo Direct like a February or June?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it'll be in this Direct that we're about to get, but I feel like either March or the Summer Direct.
I feel like it's a little too like.
It
would overshadow everything else.
The thing, I'm not fully convinced that the Switch 2 is this year, so if they do it in the Summer Direct, they can be like, okay, it'll come out like next March. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's June.
Oh, you think it's June?
Yeah, I think. Well, I'm not a Nintendo fanboy, so I could be wrong. But wasn't the first Switch revealed in October, and then it came out in March?
October.
So it was 5 months difference. So like I feel like you do June, you can hit like holiday with that.
So
like 5 months later, 6 months later, you still hit the holiday.
Yeah, so my apprehension towards that is GDC. We know developers are working on the Switch, like the Switch 2. They've already confirmed they're working on the Switch successor. And GDC, they're going to start talking about, like, there's going to be a lot of dialogue about, like, specs, all that. And I think Nintendo wants to control the message. GDC is late March. So I think if Nintendo, my viewpoint, they're going to say, hey, March 15th, 14th, mark it on the calendar, somewhere around that, like, time frame. They're going to want to go, hey, here's the Switch 2. That way they can avoid, like, people just, like, rambunctiously talking about it on GDC. They could say, hey, this is our stage. We're going to talk about it here.
Yeah, I could see them being, because wasn't there also rumor that was supposed to come out in September? I feel like if it's September, they reveal it in March.
I could see September.
They were like, oh yeah, they're working on a new Game Shark, and it's gonna come out for the Switch too.
Nah, we don't talk about the Game Shark thing. I mean, like the rumor. I mean, we're gonna get into it right now. Like, when does this thing release? I'm going October. I think October just makes the most sense. For
Yeah, I think October as well. I think I'm like undecided between early next year or October, but October makes more sense because when I think about it, just the timeline with everything. Like if they reveal it over this spring, maybe summer, get that marketing going, and then September they like show it off at like TGS. Like I don't know if Nintendo would do stuff for it, but like that one match up pretty well right before it comes out.
If it is this year, I think October is it. But if not, I think it's February, March.
October with the Luigi Mansion remake or whatever they're doing, remastered. What is that thing they're doing?
No, that's Luigi's Mansion 2 remake. That's a summer. They already stated that's a summer game.
I think it's October. I guess you guys know more, so maybe October. But I think it's between. It's a lot of months, but I think it's September, October, or November. Like it's those 3 months. Like it's somewhere in there. I don't know where, but like I think it's in those 3 months. Like it could be as early as September, as late in November.
That's a crazy prediction. He's like, yeah, I think it's gonna release.
I said it was gonna be a lot of months, but I think it would be September. But you guys are so confident in October, like you know something.
That Fusion, so you keep saying you keep saying it's like you guys know more. We know the same amount.
I don't know.
Like Nintendo is
Something
not
fishy
a
is
talkative
happening.
company. And what, you think one of us is a Nintendo insider? Hint, hint, Jat.
Yeah, Jet
People
says a
in the-
lot. He goes from
even,
really quiet to saying a lot.
even people in Nintendo don't know Nintendo, bro.
I mean, moving into it, like, when it releases, what is that launch lineup looking like? This is the big question. I'm putting my stake on it. I really believe 3D Mario. I think it's time. Bowser's Fury was in 2021, and like even then, that was a smaller game. Odyssey was 2017. It just seems like the perfect release schedule. Like it, and I'm very confident in this one. This is one that we've been arguing about a lot here. That's that Mario, that new 3D Mario is an exclusive to Switch 2. They want to try to sell copies of that Switch 2 with the new 3D Mario game.
So I'm of the opinion that it's either 3D Mario or a new Donkey Kong.
Yeah, Donkey Kong.
Ugh, that's
The
stupid.
new Donkey
fucking
Kong
eight-
also lights up.
I mean, well, that's the question. Like the big rumor with Donkey Kong right now is that it's the 3D Mario team working on the new game, doing a 3D Donkey Kong game. And my viewpoint has always been, you don't make the 3D Mario team that had Odyssey sell almost 30 million copies work on fucking Donkey Kong. You have them
So
work on
here's
the
the
next
thing.
Mario game.
They're doing a big. We were talking about this too when that rumor came out, but they're doing a lot for Donkey Kong this year in general. It's possible.
It's
What
possible.
if they want Donkey Kong
I-
to be the future?
Why is it? What
I'm
is
kinda
this
down
hype
for that,
for
bro.
Donkey Kong?
I like Donkey
What is-
Kong.
Listen, I don't hate Donkey Kong. I've been viewed as a Donkey Kong hater. I enjoy Donkey Kong. I don't get why people hype him up on the same level as
I
Mario.
think it's
That's
either
always my
or. I
viewpoint.
think it's a coin flip.
There's that theory that the Donkey Kong rumors got conflated, and actually the next game is a team up of Mario and Donkey Kong. Now that I fuck with.
I'm down for that too.
Like the Mario vs Donkey Kong coming out
No, they're fighting each other in that one.
in
This
like
one
2
they're working
weeks.
together.
Like you talking about that one?
No. I'm saying like maybe the 3D Donkey Kong rumors. It's like, oh, actually it was a 3D Mario game and a 3D Donkey Kong game
That'd
at
be
the
kinda
same
cool.
time you play as. Yeah, that's awesome. Like Mario and Donkey Kong fight Bowser. I'd play the fuck out of that.
I think
Yeah.
Mario's like had his spotlight for 40 years. Like let Donkey Kong have this next generation. Or put him out there. Just give him it.
Glad you're
Like
not.
it's come
I'm
out.
up with that.
He's run the industry for 40 years because he makes good games.
Like imagine the Switch that releases Donkey Kong really is like the big staple, and like for the next decade, it's just like 3D Donkey Kong games that are just sick.
Yeah,
fucking
no
suck,
Mario
bro.
games at all. I don't like this future you're envisioning. I mean, like,
Metroid Prime.
yeah, Metroid Prime is the other
I think
question.
it's
Is that a
Metroid
launch
Prime.
title?
I don't think it's 3D Mario. I think
Dude,
it's
there's
Metroid
no
Prime.
way this game
Yeah.
does not come out with this.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
think
Jack.
I think Metroid Prime, but I think they're gonna do a Breath of the Wild and make it cross-gen, where it's gonna be Switch 1 and
100%
2.
agree.
Well, yeah, it has to.
They already said it's coming out on Switch 1. You know, like they announced it with the Switch 1. So it'd be crazy if they said, "Oh, actually, you got to buy a whole new SKU to play like Metroid Prime 4." Now, I wouldn't put it past Nintendo, but like even then, I just really doubt that's the case. I think this is definitely going to be a cross-gen release with the Switch 2.
I think. Oh, you
go
go,
ahead,
you can go. Oh, I was gonna say,
No,
I
please.
think Monolith Soft's new IP is probably a launch title. It makes sense to me
Really?
because the way that I see it
Xenoblade
is,
was 2 years ago, though.
so here's the thing: Xenoblade was in development with alongside another project. So Xenoblade 2 finished. They started working on 3. But there was another team working on another game. That other game has not come out yet. So it's been like I don't know how many years it's been since Xenoblade 2. It's been a hot minute.
It's been like 7
That game
years.
is cooked. So the thing with not Xenoblade, but the Monolith Soft, they push the engine to its limits. If you want a studio to see what the limitations of this thing is, this is the studio for it. And we know it's gonna be like a big open world game. It makes sense being like, hey, this is what the Switch 2 can do.
My opinion is that I think if Monolith Soft's new game was finished, I think it's gonna be like that Xenoblade 2 release date where it's gonna be in December. I think it's gonna be like
That works,
Switch 2
though.
in October, and then like just a couple months later, hey, here's like one last hurrah.
I mean, that's so
before the year
close.
ends.
I consider it a launch title.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the Super Smash Brothers Melee with GameCube thing, where like it came out like 2 weeks after the GameCube. It's like, oh yeah, it's a launch
consider that a
title.
launch title still.
It's a launch
If
window.
it is
It's
this
like
year,
when they
I feel like the Monolith game is with it.
That's like with Rift Apart. They're like, Rift Apart is going to be a launch window game, and it came out like 8 months after the PS5. It's like, okay, you guys are really stretching the limits of that word. I don't know. It's like that
7
launch
years,
lineup
bro.
is that's the thing. Launch lineup is so hard to predict with Nintendo. My viewpoint is that they kind of coast off like 1 or 2 games for their launch, where they're like, hey, here are your 2 big like games, and then like third parties kind of like fill in the rest of the gaps. I don't think I saw like ideas. It's like, what if they launch with a new 1-2 Switch game? No,
They might.
no. Let's stop. It is question. It is such a big question mark with that launch lineup. My viewpoint is 3D Mario. That's going to be the exclusive to Switch 2. Prime 4 as the what's it called, like the cross-gen release, because you
What
need as
about
many sales for Prime 4 as possible.
what about 2D Zelda? Like a new 2D Zelda?
That is a question. I mean, there has been a lot of rumors about Grezzo making a new 2D Zelda, or not a new 2D remake of Oracle of Ages and Seasons. That's my thing, though. I think that's going to be just a 2024 title, like before Switch 2.
I can see it being both at the same time. There's also like the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess ports is just looming.
So
There's no
from
way
what
they
I've
don't come
heard,
out.
it is a big thing within Nintendo. They want to try to get at least one Zelda thing per year. And I think what happened was that Twilight Princess and Wind Waker was like, well, every year we already had a Zelda thing. So they've just been kind of sitting on a computer somewhere. I think I would be shocked if in this February Direct we don't see them. I think this is where we finally see them, and they're going to get a release date for this year. Not a Switch 2 launch title, though.
That's fair.
We can talk more about like other games that possibly could be in that launch lineup when we get into the specific IPs within Nintendo. But any other thoughts on like launch lineup with you guys, or do we want to move on?
You want to go into if it'll be exclusive or not?
We've
This
been
is a genuine.
debating this for a while.
It's a genuine question. It's a fair question. It's not like I'm not trying
For
to like
3D
start
Mario?
shit. No, just for like in general.
What in
Because
general?
because we were talking about 3D Mario
Oh,
specifically, but I'm saying like I don't think there'll
the
be Switch 2
generational divide.
exclusives. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
well,
for like
that's
a year or 2.
I fully disagree. Like,
And that's fair.
my viewpoint.
It could go either
No,
way.
no,
in my opinion.
I can see a situation where it's both, but like my viewpoint is Nintendo is very big on generational divides. They like, we believe in generations. Look, they genuinely do just believe in generations. I mean, like my big like argument has always been the DS to the 3DS, where the DS sold 155 million, and they still made a very clean break with the 3DS. And like that kind of was detrimental in a lot of ways. Not even detrimental, because the 3DS eventually did pull back, but like they very much value just like, hey, this is our new console. We're gonna put our new games on there.
I just don't see them doing it because I look at the Switch. I feel like the Switch is like their masterpiece in my opinion. I feel like maybe that's their lightning in a bottle. I don't see them like being like, yo, we gotta drop this.
You say
I
that,
could
but
be
the
wrong.
DS.
Yeah,
The
I know you bring up
DS
the
is
DS.
their
Like,
masterpiece. That's 155. That is the best-selling system, right behind the PS2, and they dropped it. Like
I don't
that's
know.
just how Nintendo works.
I don't know why. I'm just like I just don't see him doing it.
Jet, what do you think?
So I could see this actually going either way. Like I think Switch 2 is totally fine for their priority in that, like the Switch's hardware it's out of date, right? Like like for the advanced tech, they probably want to upscale to 4K, so they want to put all their resources into Switch 2. At the same time, if they want to match what the competitors are doing, like with Sony and Xbox, or what they were doing for like the first couple of years or so, then then they do the cross generation thing. But I'm more leaning toward what Wolf was saying, because because I think part of why they had like the PS4 and PS5 stuff was like it helped with the fact that like at the time when the PS5 and Xbox Series consoles came out, people couldn't find them. So like people who already had the PS4 and Xbox One, they could play those games for like a year until the consoles were in stock. But I don't think Nintendo's gonna have like a chip shortage or anything. Like I think those consoles should be decent enough to find.
Wait, I see this.
I hope so. Yeah.
And this guy's instead of
Go
Donkey
ahead.
Kong. If Donkey Kong is the game this year, it's not 2D Mario. I think it's gonna be multiplayer across everything for a couple. And then Mario, the next Mario would be okay. This is it in like 2 to 3 years. I don't see him dropping it. I just don't
2
see him
to
dropping the Switch.
3 years?
Because yeah, you gotta make
There's
these.
no
They
shot.
they gotta make the game.
Well, yeah, but like they would probably have been working on 3D Mario and 3D Donkey Kong at the same time
That's
if
true,
it is the
but
3D Mario team.
within a year or two.
I can't, man. I'm sorry. No, you keep fighting for this like Donkey Kong game. Why do you like him?
I don't know. Donkey Kong is cool. He's different, bro. It's a big ass monkey.
Mario games are the best games ever made. Man.
See, man, I'm also really big on Donkey Kong Country. So that's why I'm kind of biased, but
that country's good, yeah. We gotta talk about the specs on this thing. So there have been reports, Bloomberg reports, very reputable sources, in regards to kind of like what we're looking at the Switch 2 is going to be an 8-inch LCD screen, which I know Fusion is screaming right now. They're hearing LCD.
Dumbest decision of all time.
You gotta wait 2 years for the OLED. But the LCD screen, that's currently the running theory at the moment, as 8 inches, so it'd be around this on par with the Steam Deck at that size. Power wise, it would be around the same as like PS4, right? Like a little better. And I saw a lot of people like up in arms about this. And my viewpoint is, guys, Nintendo are able to utilize the hardware in a lot of ways way better than you would think. And also Steam Deck is near the power of the like PS4. I'm thinking this is going to be around the level of PS4. Yeah. And the big thing right now is Nintendo has not really created hard, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Do you have any thoughts on this?
So you're saying, I could be wrong, but it sounds like you're trying to say that Nintendo doesn't try to be like the cream of the crop. That's not what they're looking for.
Yes.
But the thing is that you do have a point. Nintendo can take what they have, like the shit that they've been able to do on the Switch. Neither Xbox or Sony can ever, like, they can try it, it will not work out. Nintendo, they doesn't know their shit. So when we say like, oh yeah, they're gonna go on PS4, you don't understand how much they're gonna push the boundaries of the PS4.
They are very good when it comes to like utilizing hardware, even at its lowest extent. I mean, like GameCube was noticeably weaker than the a lot of the other consoles, and yet like you look at Super Mario Sunshine, that water still looks fucking insane. Like they've always, like the Wii was so underpowered, yet Super Mario Galaxy was a stunning game at the time. They know how to utilize the hardware to its fullest extent. And right now, the big thing that developers are wanting is RAM. If the next Switch, if they can get more RAM on that thing, I think developers will be more than happy enough and be able to get the ports more easily available, especially if you have people like Big Red Button, who, you know, did the Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal ports. They are a phenomenal port studio. You get more port studios like that, I think you're looking at like a really strong third-party presence for Switch 2.
I agree.
I mean, third-party support is the next thing on here. I mean, like, I assume like you're gonna see a lot of companies that weren't very like third-party, that weren't supporting the Switch that much, stuff like EA. You're gonna see them line up for Switch 2 because they see the sales potential. They saw how well the Switch did. Now they have that benefit of hindsight. They're gonna be much more willing to get their big games onto the Switch 2.
I mean, it makes sense.
It just it doesn't really like. It would be surprising if they would still not put shit on Switch. Like, I mean, put Madden, put FIFA. Like, yeah, sure, the games aren't that good, but like, get them on Switch, double dip, go for it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, I think what they're gonna do, like some of the games that released the past year and that run like ass on the Switch, like Mortal Kombat, Hogwarts Legacy, they're gonna be like, oh, you can play those on the Switch too, and they'll look better, and they'll like remarket those in their ads and everything.
Yeah, and that's the question right now. Is like we saw recently, a lot of like physical Switch games kind of like went out of production and whatnot for a lot of these retailers. There's that question: will there be like these games be re-released under like, oh, Switch 2 or better on Switch 2, that type of thing? Are we gonna be able? Are we gonna see that throughout the year? A lot of these companies like marketing it.
I don't think so in the way that you guys are thinking, because you look at the Mortal Kombat 1 port on Switch, you upping the power is not gonna fix that. That game is cooked. Like, that game is fucked, bro. I think it really comes down to the ports, like specifically. So it'd be like case by case.
I mean, I could. What about like the big stuff, like the Mario Odysseys, the Smash Ultimates? Because Smash Ultimate is still important, but like Mario Odyssey.
So the thing is, I don't think it'll be re-released. I just think it'll be upgraded, kind of like how Xbox does things. There's no world where this thing is not backwards compatible. If this Switch 2 is not backwards compatible, it's
Yeah, I
suicide.
mean, that's the question, right? There's no shot it isn't backwards
That is
compatible. It has
the
to
Switch
be.
2 would die.
I would be so fucking angry if Nintendo decided no, it's not back compat. That would be like not a deal breaker, but it's like I'm pretty
You'd
close
still
to being
buy
a
it,
deal
though.
breaker. Okay. Well, I'm a broken man. I'm saying that would be a deal breaker for like the majority of like normal humans.
It'd be for me.
With the outrage that would happen because of it would be monumental.
It's funny though, because like if anyone would do it, it's Nintendo. Of them
It
just
just-
being like, hey, we're not
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
do
no.
backwards compat.
They, if anyone, listen, I love Nintendo. I've covered them for years. If anyone would to do it, it would be Nintendo. In like the back compat, like no back compat between Wii U and Switch was understandable. You
That's
go from
fine.
disc to cartridges, but like I think it is very clear it's going to happen because literally every Nintendo handheld is back compat with each other. DS is compatible with Game Boy Advance with original Game Boy, 3DS with DS. Like this has just always been a thing with Nintendo. So I just doubt they're going to completely say, "Oh, it's not back compat."
And I think NSO is a big part of this because of the cloud saves. I think that was them prepping for this. If not, they have lost their damn mind.
I just can't imagine. Like that just feels like too perfect. I mean, next up, different SKUs. This is kind of an idea of like I heard some theories like, oh, maybe like they launch with a $350 edition, a $400, an OLED edition at launch. I mean, do you guys think that, or they're gonna say, hey, this is just one Switch 2 at launch?
I think they do. Oh,
Metroid Prime 4 edition? I don't know.
No, I'm talking about like different SKUs, as in like a Series S, Series X type thing.
yeah.
Oh, you just mean
what
drop that lifespan? Or at launch?
No, at launch, on launch.
No, it's just a new
Oh
one.
no, it's just one. It's just one.
Yeah,
No,
I agree. What about you?
I think they'll actually try and push the light with the
I was gonna say that's
alongside the solution.
Go ahead, Fusion.
that would be the only other scenario where now that I'm thinking about it, if they do go 2 SKUs, it will be the light, like a handheld only version, and then the normal Switch.
I think
Yeah,
if
like,
they're
Because
gonna
doesn't
do
the
two,
light sell like really well? Like people love that.
The
Just
light
like
sold really well.
the just the handheld version.
I think if they do the light, it's gonna be because a couple of years we're gonna get the OLED version, and that's when they do the light alongside it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just want to avoid market confusion as much as possible. They kind of learned from the Wii U in that regard, so they're just like, there is one Switch 2 at the box. And maybe I don't think it'll be a 2-year thing. I think it very well could just be a 1-year thing where like a year later there's like, hey, here's the light.
I think at the very most you get like a limited edition one. So like, let's say it comes out October, November with like a new Pokemon, and you get like a custom Pokemon edition or something.
Oh, that would sell off that's the thing. It would sell off the shelves. I feel like you would want to double dip for that. You would go next year you do that.
I mean, but this year we got the black and white remake.
I mean, we'll talk. We'll talk about it. But before we get into those IPs, but real quick, one last thing. Nintendo recently, they kind of had this big deal about like, hey, like we want to try to work with more third-party studios, get our IPs there. Do we see the fruits of that labor like anytime soonish, or is this just something that's like a way far off?
I mean, they said they just brought it up recently, so we're not gonna see it for like 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, but like there could have been like stuff already in the works even before they brought it up.
I think at the very most, the only thing that makes sense that might start happening soon is Monolith Soft with Bandai, but that's about it.
For Xenosaga.
Yeah, the Xenosaga has been in the. We know something related to that's coming. Besides that, I don't think anything.
Some ports. Well, I want to get into the IPs with Nintendo. They're very big with their IPs. We're not going to go too hard, like 30 minutes on each one, but just real fast. So, 2D Mario. We just had some Mario Brothers Wonder. Right now, I'm hearing a lot of speculation about Mario Wonder DLC. Do you guys see that? I personally just don't, even though I really want it.
I don't think it'll happen.
I think at most they give a free update, maybe add like 1 or 2 characters, but nothing major.
They're gonna get sprites added to Smash Bros.
Oh man,
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
About Nintendo in this chart. I'm not saying your chart bad. I'm just saying, like, how many studios does Nintendo have?
I have no idea.
Way more than you would think.
And,
A
like,
lot of them. So that's the thing. most of them fall under Nintendo EAD, but there is a lot of teams within Nintendo EAD. There's like the 3D Mario team, the Splatoon team, the Mario Kart team, way more than you would think.
Yeah,
Okay, because I see how you're seeing with like Nintendo IP Studio, then you just have 2D Mario. So is that like the 2D Mario team?
No, it's not the 2D Mario team. Well, the 2D Mario team is its own thing, but they worked on like Mario Maker and whatnot. Like they also had another thing they worked on. I forget the name of it. They do have a specific project, but the reason I did IP is that we don't really know the teams as well. There's like random ones. We know the Mario Kart team is the one that did ARMS, but like they are pretty secretive about telling us like we don't even know who's developing Princess Peach Showtime. Like that's how secretive Nintendo is when it comes
Oh
to
yeah,
this
I
crap.
forget. Like no one ever knows till the game's like out.
Yeah.
So you roll credits and you see it at the end. You're like, oh.
There they are. Jet, did you have something to say?
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna say, like, some of their studios, like, yeah, like I said, they're secretive, but goddamn, like some of the ones like Intelligent Systems, for example, they have a huge range in terms of what games they made.
They
Like,
have so many games. They do Paper
yeah,
Mario. They do Fire Emblem.
WarioWare, yeah.
I always forget they do WarioWare. That is just wild to me. Moving on. 3D Mario. We talked a lot about 3D Mario. I think majority of us thinks it's this year. Correct?
If it is gonna happen, it'll be this year. If not,
Yeah.
it's Donkey Kong.
You and Donkey Kong. I mean, there is a question: is it going to be an Odyssey 2, or if it's going to be completely new? I think it's just completely
Nah,
new.
it'll be brand new. I feel like the timeline
Yeah.
for Odyssey 2 is
They
cooked.
They would have done Odyssey 2 by now if they were going to do it. Listen, I wouldn't be complaining if it was Odyssey 2, though. Let's be honest here. Mario Kart. I mean, listen, we just finished the Mario
Like
Kart.
I swear on everything that's holy. If like it's not gonna be like at launch, but whenever the Mario Kart comes back, if it's not the next fucking game, if they just bring a port of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we're fucking dying.
I think they just go with a brand new Mario Kart. I think it gets revealed this year, but I don't think it gets released. I think they say, "Hey, we're making Mario Kart 9 or 10." We still don't know if they count Mario Kart Tour as 9. It would be so cool if it was Mario Kart X. But also that means we have to pretend Mario Kart Tour is Mario Kart 9, and I don't like that.
I want more Nintendo characters. Make it like Smash Kart. I want to see like Samus in there. I want to see that. Just bring in other fucking characters.
I feel like if we do that, then we lose out on a Paul Lee. Is that worth it?
No. I feel like they'll keep everyone that they have now, just add more onto it.
I don't know. I think they like having different rosters.
I don't think like it's. I don't think
you're gonna see a lot of cuts.
much.
Yeah, what stops them from doing like Mario Kart X and then them just doing the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and they just have like it would be cool again. I don't like I said I've never followed Nintendo a lot, but it was cool every like TGA and every Nintendo Direct watching people's reactions to the new Smash character. It would be different in Mario Kart, but it would still be fun. Like every direct or something, they add like someone new in Mario Kart. That would be like just cool every week or every month, like whenever they did it.
So I'm talking about at launch, but I think Smash Bros. Does a different situation because the amount of IPs that they have in it. I don't think they'll make a new one. But from Mario Kart specifically, I feel like just increase the roster.
I want Shy. Throw Shy in there. I know he's not a Nintendo IP,
Kart.
but like he's already coming in the system, bro.
He has a higher chance of being in Smash than Mario Kart.
I mean, listen, we'll talk about Smash later. I don't know. I think it's Mario Kart 10. I think it's revealed next year. Or not revealed next year. Revealed this year, released next year. Probably
better not come out this year.
Yeah.
Or my fantasy card team's cooked.
Yeah. I'm really hoping like they don't go that route where they do the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe plus like the Ultimate Edition with the DLC, but
please,
please. Mario Kart 8 come out in 2014 or some shit.
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah. 10 years ago.
10 years. Yeah, GTA 5 last year was 10 years. You know, we're celebrating the 10-year anniversary of these games that we're still playing. Listen, Mario Kart 8 is great, but like it was great in 2014. Moving on, Mario Sports. This has been kind of a disappointment. I don't play the Mario Sports games, but I know the Mario Sports fans are always depressed.
There's gonna be something. It's gonna be Mario. Mario.
The big rumor is Mario Baseball. That's gonna be the next one up.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think?
So here's a problem Nintendo's had that they somehow managed to do this. I think how many sports games came out? There was tennis, golf, and soccer, right? Like So 3 of these games in a fucking row that they managed to release like pretty bare bones, and then they added content later on to make it less like that. And,
updates.
yeah,
It's a weird strategy. They go with like they release games incomplete, but they release free DLC, so it's harder to complain about it, but it's still easy to complain about because it's like there's nothing here at launch. Like you have nothing to play in regards to these Mario sports games. It's very weird, just like their strategy when it comes to this like kind of subsection of the Mario franchise. I think baseball is the next one, but I don't think that actually gets revealed this year. I think that's a next year deal. Moving in, I mean Mario Party. That's kind of like the big
given.
like. That's a. I mean, is it a?
It's like even
I feel like
for the generation. Like it's we're gonna get one in like a year or two.
we're gonna get one, yeah, of course. But like, would it get revealed this year? Is the question. I don't know.
Nah, not this year.
Yeah, and I don't think a release either.
yeah. I think what they'll do for that one, they'll just do Mario Party Superstars 2, where they'll just remake the maps again, and yeah, it works. So
Speeding through the next two, Mario plus Rabbids. I think we're just like that franchise is done
Just
just
got
because
one.
Sparks of Hope. Yeah, and also like that just didn't sell enough, and I think that just the franchise is kind of cooked. Mario and Luigi, that's just dead. Alpha Dream went down in flames. Like Nintendo didn't help him. Bench is crying right now. I know he is. So God bless their souls. Paper Mario, we already have. We like the recent one was Origami King. We got Thousand Year Door remake coming, and I don't think a new Paper Mario is anywhere near complete. But I just want to believe that the new Paper Mario is actually going to be an RPG again. That's kind of my dream. I really hope so. Luigi's Mansion, we already know. Luigi's Mansion 2 remake. I don't think we're getting a new Luigi's Mansion 4 anytime soon. So not a lot to say there. Donkey Kong. You guys love to talk about Donkey Kong around here,
let's
apparently.
go.
If it's not this year, it's next.
Yeah.
Is it
There's no way.
I
There's
can see
no
a
way
Donkey
they're not
Kong
doing
Country.
it.
They're making
Yeah.
a new Donkey Kong game. I think it's going to be a 2D game. I don't think it's 3D.
I think it's 2D.
Oh, what?
I
Okay.
think-
I was always assuming you thought it was 3D.
No. Because you're getting it mixed up. I think that the 3D Mario team might be doing a Donkey Kong game. I don't think it's gonna be a 3D game. I think it's gonna be another Donkey Kong Country.
No,
I
don't think. Oh, I don't think it'll have the country branding, but I remember hearing the rumors like years ago where it was like a 2.5D, something like that. But yeah, it'll be cool.
Retro had to be working on something outside of Metroid Prime 4 for all that time. So like before they got the reins on that for game. Next is Zelda. We already kind of talked about all the major rumors in regards to it. There is that question of the new 2D Zelda instead of an Oracle of Ages Seasons remake. I think it's just going to be the remakes of those games instead of a new 2D Zelda, even though I really want a new 2D Zelda, trust me.
I can see a new 2D Zelda being.
It'd be fun. Pokemon Moon, your favorite franchise.
He's dead right now.
Yeah, there's no way.
Why must you torture me like this?
Oh.
No, don't you see my
Pokemon
profile
Day is
picture
this
now?
month.
I'm a Tails guy.
Your Tails guy. Okay. That's just because Fusion doesn't know what it is.
No, that's because they're the same character.
Oh my god. They are not.
I
Okay,
think
that's a whole other discussion.
If you sat someone down and he showed what's his name? The
Rowlet?
Pokemon. Yeah, if you sat him down next to Hootie, like to like 10 kids who are kind of into Pokemon, they'd be like, "Oh,
I
I'm
don't
looking
know,
at
bro.
I'm looking at two Pokemon right here."
You really Pokemon, bro.
Anyways, Pokemon Day is this month. Do we think they
28th.
do anything?
I mean,
It's
they're
gonna be
gonna
black
announce
and white
something.
remake. It's gonna be black and white remake, and then
They should
black and white
announce a
remake.
PalWorld.
Go ahead,
It's
Fusion,
Fusion.
sir.
Wait, what? Who did you say?
Oh, I thought you said something, Fusion. My
No,
bad.
I said they should announce a PalWorld.
It's just like, you know what, fuck it, we're doing our own power.
Yeah, like Pokemon World, or just call it something crazy and just rip them off again, like have guns and everything.
I mean, listen, they wouldn't go as far as to doing guns, but I'm just saying, like a Pokemon survival game. I think they're like, hang on, maybe we could do something with that. Rip off the rip-offs.
I mean, I don't know what Arceus really is, but have they ever adapted from the straight the chain, the circle of Pokemon gameplay, the loop? Has it ever got different, or is it literally always the same?
It's always the same
It's-
except for Arceus.
Yeah, and even then Arceus was.
And I was just saying, what's the
decently
difference in that one? Like, what makes it different?
That was a open zone like.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
You were encouraged to catch as many Pokemon as
It was more
possible
about
instead of fighting them.
documenting Pokemon instead of like I mean, you still captured and battled, but it was less of a priority than they wanted you to fill out the Pokedex and like document all the Pokemon.
Because
The real question.
that's my
Go
thing
ahead.
is like, I know Michael Huber, he says a lot where he just feels like he can't ever get into Pokemon because for one, it's too easy and too like kid friendly, which I get that's what the Pokemons are. Like, they're going to always be that way, but I feel like not PalWorld because PalWorld's not a good example, but like I guess it is a good example where it's like I look at Pokemon and to me as an outsider in the Pokemon franchise, they're always the exact same and I have no interest in it because they don't change. So like I feel like they probably never will. They don't have to. It's the biggest franchise in the world, but like it'd be really cool to see them actually innovate out like for once.
It'll be interesting if they do continue with like the Legends franchise because that does diversify just a little bit enough to where, I mean, we saw how well Arceus was received, even though it ran like crap. But it was well received by a lot of people, both in and out of the Pokemon franchise, because it was just different enough.
And why can't Game Freak ever make their game like run well? That's what makes Pokemon, right? Game Freak.
Because they release one every fucking year. It is the Call of Duty thing.
They are the biggest franchise company, but they like to operate like an indie company.
There's like 100 employees at Game Freak, and yeah, people are always like, "Oh, well, the thing is that they have to coordinate with the TCG." That no, they don't. They can literally. Game Freak has the power to say, "Hey, can we have a year, like an extra year, or like a few months at the very least?" They don't care. They clearly have not cared for years. I don't know. Legends Arceus was so good because it was something different, even if it also ran like crap and looked like crap. And it's just so surprising to me because like Nintendo is so like all their games like they run well, they're polished. That was always in Nintendo's MO. And just Pokemon is this weird thing where I was like, oh, not that one. We don't claim him. Like Nintendo's like, oh, we're barely involved, which is weird that Nintendo is barely involved for one of their biggest exclusives. So I feel like if I was
biggest, like it's the biggest moneymaker, at least like branding wise. Like it's bigger
100%.
than Star Wars. It's bigger than Star Wars, Marvel, and all these other like giant ass franchises. It's at least merchandising wise, it's the biggest
media franchise in the world.
Yeah,
it is like just straight up the biggest media franchise.
It's just
in the
wild
world.
that it's the biggest thing, and it's treated like this like stray child.
It's so strange to me. We did hear stuff from the Pokemon company. They're like, oh, we're looking into like making our games more polished in the future. I don't know. I've just given up hope. I really have.
Yeah, they say a lot of stuff over the years.
We're gonna get
There's a
Black and White remaster. Remake. I mean, we got Black and White remake this year, on the second half of the year, and then very beginning of next year we gonna get the Legends game based off of Black and White.
Don't do that. They're gonna do that crap again, like they did with the fucking
It
Diamond
makes
and
sense.
Pearl.
It makes sense to do it.
It doesn't because they'll get. You know for a fact they're gonna both suck. Or at least they're gonna run like ass. They're gonna
we
run
don't
like
know that.
ass. I mean, listen. After Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I'm like, do not remake any more of them. Let's stop. They're gonna do it. Yeah, we can't stop them. It's frustrating. There is also Pokemon spin-offs. I mean, they're always gonna have Pokemon spin-offs. I don't really think there's much to talk about there. There's Mystery Dungeon, which people keep saying they want back. I don't think that new Mystery Dungeon did very well though, so I think they're like, we could leave that on the back burner.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see because there's bound to be some kind of spin-off thing. Like it could be something very small, like a mobile game, but it could also be something big, like a new actual game. But there's bound to be something because I doubt they're announcing just the it's really weird. I'm glad we only have to wait less than a month to figure all this out because there's the possibility of maybe it's just the remake and a spin-off, or it's the Legends and the spin-off, or there's like three things. It's Black and White remake, a Legends, and some kind of spin-off, and it's gonna be two of the three, and we can't figure out which 2 to 3 it's gonna be. It's probably gonna all be announced on the 28th.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Next up is Kirby, one of my favorite Nintendo franchises. I grew up on this bad boy. Forgotten Land was 2021, or that was 2022. I remember that was like a month after Elden Ring. I don't think Kirby is anywhere near ready for the next game. We could see a spinoff very similar to Dream Buffet. I don't know what that spinoff could be. Could be like a fighters game, Clash of Kirby Clans, some bullshit like that. I don't know, but like there is that question of like when the next new Kirby game is that is like Forgotten Land. And as much as I want it, I don't think we're like anywhere near that. I think that's like 2 years off at most.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they're more likely to port Epic Yarn again or something before the next 3D Kirby. Yeah.
I mean, I would love a Superstar Ultra port. Now that's actually what I would kill for, because like I love Superstar Ultra. Next is Animal Crossing. This is another one I just don't think it's ready. They have a new Animal Crossing. It's very obvious they have a new Animal Crossing, but I think New Horizons just does a little too recent, especially after all the DLC there. I think Animal Crossing is going to be like a second or third year of the Switch deal, but I do think that's more of like they're kind of fast tracking it a bit more. Like, okay, let's actually give that studio more support, because it's clear Animal Crossing is one of our flagships now. Hopefully it's better than New Horizons, because that game fucking sucks. ARMS.
We're not getting another one, bro.
Moving on. I mean, if we were gonna get an ARMS 2, we would have gotten it by now. That's kind of my viewpoint. Fire Emblem. This is kind of an interesting one. So Engage was last year, but right now we very much know Genealogy of the Holy War is done. I think that's just a pre-Switch 2 game. I think that's very much like, hey, we need like another game for like September or March or like August or something, and that's going to be something that kind of like fill in the months before the Switch 2.
So on top of that, Engage was also an anniversary title, so it's not even a mainline entry. So I think the next mainline entry's been worked on for a hot minute. I think we could share.
Yeah, and I mean, next mainline that could very easily could be revealed this year and then released next year. That Intelligent Systems is a scary company. They move a really crazy output. F-Zero I kind of put here as like F-Zero 99. We just got that like a little bit. There has been rumors of this GX remake. If you don't know F-Zero GX, that was the one on GameCube. I would kill for that. Like I've always wanted to play that game. It's so hard for me to be like, oh man, we're gonna get an F-Zero game, because we've been burnt so long. But also, we just got F-Zero 99. That's a new F-Zero game. So hey, who knows? I can't imagine it's anywhere. Like I don't. If it was gonna come out, it would probably be a pre-Switch 2 launch title, or not launch title, pre-Switch 2 game to fill out the year. Metroid, one of my favorite Nintendo franchises. We just had Metroid Dread in 2021, and then the Prime Remaster in what's it called? That was 2023. That was literally last year. There has been the rumors of the Prime 2 and Prime 3 remasters as well. I think those come out this year, leading it to Prime 4. I mean, do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I mean, seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I heard they're not gonna look as good as the Prime Remaster, but they're still gonna be pretty fine ports.
Yeah, they're very much remasters, like a more traditionally remasters versus like the remake they did for Prime. Moving on, my beloved Pikmin. This is the me section. Pikmin 4 like literally just came out, and I could see Pikmin 4 DLC. That's very much a possibility. I want DLC more than anything. That game like is killing for DLC, but I don't know. It's so hard to predict DLC when it comes to Nintendo. I feel like they're very picky. They're very picky, where it's like Odyssey was a prime candidate for DLC and it didn't get DLC. So it's like I don't know what they're doing over there. That fucking flop house. Splatoon is kind of that thing where it's like Splatoon, we just had Splatoon 3 with the DLC. Now we were actually getting more Splatoon 3 with, what was it, Side Order. So there's not a lot to like predict there. Smash Brothers. What's the question here? Now, I think if we were going to get a new Smash, I don't think it's a new Smash. I think it's going to be a Smash Ultimate Deluxe. And I don't think that's ready yet. I think that's the next year, and I think they reveal it next year.
Yeah, that's a year or two, and it's gonna get like 4 new characters or so. That's about it.
Yeah. Yep.
Because like you don't need to add more. Like you don't need a whole new Smash game. Like just add a few more characters and stages, and we're down. Sorry, Joe. What were you saying?
No. I was gonna agree with you guys. Like, yeah, this is already the best Smash game, and like making a new entry would be reworking everything, and let Sakurai sleep, guys.
And then we already talked about Monolith and Xenoblade and whatnot. It seems like their new IP is looking to be close. At least Dark believes it.
Yeah,
You guys
they have a.
we don't believe
They
it.
have a new. This guy.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, they actually have a couple things, but they've been having a lot of announcements as of late on the side. They have a new IP that we've known about. They've been talking about Xenoblade, and it's gonna be like an art book. And the way things are looking like right now, they're gonna be doing. I'm assuming it's gonna be a remasters. I don't think it'll be remakes, but I think it's gonna be remasters in the sense how Xenoblade 1 was remastered, where they changed the art style to fit the new modern art style. I feel like they're gonna do that with all of the 3 Xenosaga games, and I feel like that's this year. And then Xenoblade 4 or whatever the fuck they'll call it will be end of next year, early 2026.
Whoa! What the hell? End of next year? Is it really? Yeah. They're not that efficient.
It came out like 2 years ago.
2 years ago, like for a normal. I mean, this is like a Nintendo developer. Like they're way quicker than most developers. So, I mean, hey, who knows? But yeah, that's pretty much everything in regards to their IPs. Any last thoughts on Nintendo Switch, like Nintendo's 2024? I think they're gonna have a great year. I think Switch 2 is gonna release. I think we're gonna come down as like, wow, that was just as solid as like 2017 was for the Switch.
In my humble opinion, I think we should transition to a Donkey Kong and Kirby future. Like they're just not getting used enough.
You've never played a Donkey Kong game. There's no shot you've ever played a Donkey Kong game.
He was my pick in Mario Kart, so who cares?
Oh my god!
Right. If you do want to talk about transitions, all right, let's say the Switch 2 comes out whenever. I don't understand why Nintendo's allergic to sales, and it's disgusting, in my opinion. There is no reason why Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey are still full price today.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they keep selling. That's why.
I genuinely
That's
want.
The thing. They don't need to. They keep selling at those prices.
I don't care if they can or not. There is no reason, in my opinion. I think
there's the reason right there. It keeps selling as soon as
I gave you the reason.
I don't.
You never listen to us, Stark.
No, I don't consider that a valid reason.
It doesn't matter to you. It matters to them.
It doesn't matter. Think about it this way: like Nintendo's like, wow, we got 5 million sales for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe the last quarter. Let's do a permanent sale cut. Like, no,
this is the reason why we haven't gotten a new Mario Kart.
Well, yeah, of course, because they keep selling them at full price. But I think they're still gonna do a new Mario Kart because it's just how Nintendo rolls.
If I have one hope for the Switch 2, this is what it is. I want them to stop being so fucking stingy with sales.
That's never gonna happen.
You're never gonna happen. They were stingy during the Wii U days, Dark. Wii U, when they were in the fucking shambles, they were still being stingy with sales.
Also, I have to say I did lie. Donkey Kong was not my Mario Kart. It was always Yoshi. So I'm sorry for the Donkey Kong fans out there.
Oh
That's
yeah,
crazy.
I forgot to add Yoshi. I do.
You're a Yoshi hater.
No, I forgot Yoshi. Like
Yoshi hasn't had a game in a while.
Because Crafted World was 2019, and that game was dog shit.
It was Yoshi a launch title?
No.
Whoa,
you don't know anything about Yoshi. You don't know anything about Yoshi like I do.
Yeah, you know him so well, you left him off.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I think a new Yoshi game is probably in development somewhere, but like it's so hard to predict.
Imagine instead of Donkey Kong and Mario, it's a 3D Yoshi.
3D Yoshi crossover with Donkey Kong. Like that's sells.
I'm fine with 3D Yoshi. Hang on.
Dude,
I love
like
Yoshi.
The century. It'll be freaking like lit.
My only problem with Yoshi games is I feel like each one is trying to be as good as Yoshi's Island, and nothing is. So it's just like
Yoshi's Grand Adventure, bro.
Imagine Yoshi's Island in 3D.
Trying to reach the peak of 64.
That'd be sick. Oh my god. I mean, what we're seeing here, Nintendo is so hard to predict, especially in comparison to like a Microsoft or a PlayStation. Where like we gotta have trouble predicting PlayStation, but like we have rumors, we have like things. There were no rumors for Princess Peach Showtime. There was nobody who knew about that game's existence before it got revealed. Nintendo is so secretive.
Well, I mean, there were leaks. There were leaks, but that's the only thing. That's the only thing we get is we get leaks.
Yeah, and even then, like it's very much like, oh, that's probably fake. Like there's nothing so credible when it comes to Nintendo, except maybe like a Grub reporting on it. Where
yeah,
it's
but
like,
even then, with Nintendo, you know what games are coming. You know, there's Mario. Like you know, the IPs at least. You might not know what game, but with Nintendo, it's been the same exact games for 30 years.
No,
You're getting Mario, you're getting Donkey Kong.
Did anyone predict F-Zero 99?
Okay,
No.
those are one-offs though. In a year, you're talking about F-Zero 99 in a whole year that usually has 17 different of the exact same Nintendo IPs.
Is it? Well, look at Pikmin 4. We haven't had a Pikmin game in years, and then we got a new one. Nintendo utilizes their back catalog a lot better than people realize. They make more games with their back catalog than I'd say Microsoft and Sony do.
You have
That's
right
true.
here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 Mario titles on this dock. 9.
Yes, because Mario is their biggest IP.
You know what else
these
you
are
forgot?
different franchises within Mario.
There's another thing you forgot. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Oh,
Well, I forgot
oh,
that on purpose.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he didn't want to put 10 Mario games on there.
yeah. This year's
Look at-
Paris.
Fusion. It's because Mario is such a versatile and massive IP.
I know.
Like,
I'm not saying they're wrong for it. I'm just saying I feel like every year people are like, we don't know what Nintendo's doing, and every year they're like, okay, they're good games, but it's also here's another Mario thing and another like
Yeah,
Mario
they're good
Party
games.
and another.
What
Yeah,
the
there's
people
nothing wrong
want,
with it, but
That's
I'm
what
not saying it's
people
wrong.
want.
I'm just saying we act like we don't know what they're doing, but in a in a bubble, we know what they're doing. We just don't know who's doing it and what kind of version of that Mario game it is.
Yeah, I mean that's more so what I mean is like I feel like we just never know exactly what they're doing versus other companies where I feel like Ubisoft, we just leaked their entire slate. Like we know their whole slate of games the next few years. Just I'd say in comparison, Nintendo is much more secretive.
Where's that Mario's Warriors game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
That's a
tempted to
weird
put
game.
Warriors, but I'm like, that's quite Tecmo.
I mean, there'll likely be another Warriors. I don't know what it'll be.
Wait,
I'm surprised they haven't done Mario Warriors already. That'd be pretty
If
cool.
it's another Fire Emblem Warriors, I'd be pissed. I want a
Can leave
Pokemon
Fire Emblem.
Warriors. I want a Pokemon Warriors. I'd actually fuck with that.
Yeah.
You make Smash Bros. Warriors.
That's a lot.
That's
Yeah,
asking a lot.
Let's,
Yeah,
The
let's
game
move
of all
into-
games.
Let's move into what we've been playing. I'm hoping we can maybe go through this a bit quick. We got
Yeah,
one.
we're
Yeah, I'm
going
gonna zoom
over
through
3
these.
hours.
Yeah.
What did I say? 3-hour podcast.
Well, that's what we do around here. I played a little bit of Tekken 8. Just more of that like over the week, and I've been loving it. But I want to talk about Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Y'all, we got an easy contender for top 5 of this year. There's no shot that this game isn't in my top 5. This is pretty much Like a Dragon on crack. It is better in every single way. The side modes are better. The characters, there's way more characters, and they all get just as developed as even the main cast in Like a Dragon. Ichiban is still one of the best protagonists in gaming. And Kiryu gets just as much development as he's always had. And he has this brand new story arc in regards to like what he's currently fighting through, and I absolutely am just fully invested in that regard. I'm only 6 chapters into this game, and like I am at like 26 hours. Like this is a beefy game, and that's mostly because I keep getting distracted by just stuff like the Sujimon, which is just a whole ass Pokemon spin-off mode, which is literally just Pokemon in every way but name. We're like Pokemon Company, maybe you got to talk to them instead of PalWorld. That's all I'm saying. And then I just unlocked the Animal Crossing mini game, which I'm like, that's gonna be like another like 70 fucking hours in and of itself. I already know I'm gonna spend way too much time on it. Infinite Wealth is 100% like that is a game of the year contender. That is a game everyone I think needs to play. Granted, I will say you do have to play Like a Dragon first. You cannot just jump right into Infinite Wealth. Yeah, there's a lot of callbacks. It is very much the part 2 to Like a Dragon's part 1. But it is 100% worth it. Like a Dragon is still a phenomenal game, and then you go into Infinite Wealth, and it is just better in every single way. Absolutely love it. Dark, what about you?
So I beat God of War 2018. Yeah, this is just to put it like this is a game of all time. I don't know how else to say it. This is easily like gonna be my top 10. I don't know where yet. I'm gonna remake the list eventually. I'm not gonna get too much into play the game.
Can
Then
I ask you a
besides that,
question real quick?
go ahead.
Is this game better than Red Dead Redemption 2?
In
Did
terms
this
of
game
what?
deserve game? Did it deserve Game of the Year in 2018 over Red Dead Redemption 2?
So this was fighting Red Dead Redemption 2. Oh shit, that's
Yeah,
tough.
it
Actually,
it
that's
beat
really
Red
hard.
Dead Redemption
Fucking
2.
hell.
Well, you just said it
Um,
was a top 10 all time for you, and Red Dead's probably not
But-
up there.
Yeah, but Red Dead is up there too. That's the thing.
Oh, okay.
Fuck, I don't know, man. This is like They're like neck and neck. I can see why Red Dead won. Like, I'm not upset that Red Dead
No,
won.
God of War won.
Oh no, God of War won?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not upset. I can see why it won. I can see either side.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a fucking tough one, Jesus Christ. But yeah, they're both up there. And then I've been playing Persona 3 Reload. They've added a lot of additions to this from base 3 and like portable. I'm really liking it. I mentioned during the Fukuma that I might tip the scales on which one I like more between this or 4. I'm still leaning 4, but like when I get to the story heavy sections, if it hits, I can see 3 becoming my favorite. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice. I guess I'll go. What have I been playing? I don't know where my list is. Okay. I played Last of Us 2 Remastered. We all knew I was playing that. Still my favorite game of all time. The remaster is awesome. I played the Lost Levels. The Lost Levels are awesome. I think I talk about The Last of Us every single week, so I'm not going to get further into it. But after that, I played Limbo, which was pretty cool. It's from Playdead. I'm pretty sure. No one here is going to be able to fact check me because no one else here has played it. Limbo is from Playdead, right?
Hey, come on, Fusion. I'm the one who put you on it.
You weren't here in the moment when I asked that question.
Okay, ask it again.
Okay. I was asking if Playdead made it, but I'm pretty sure they did.
They did, yeah.
Okay.
That's their first game.
Yeah, so I went through that. I don't know if it's hit me as hard as like people think Limbo did, but also I understand 10 years ago in the indie space was a lot different than 10 years ago like now. So like the indies today are just, it's a different beast where Limbo came out and was like one of the very first like to show what the indie, I don't know.
Limbo was an Xbox Live arcade game, so that was kind of a big thing, and also just like it was so visually different from games at the time because this was like the Call of Duty era where everything was trying to be Call of Duty. So we had a lot of like brownie, samey first-person shooters and games of that ilk. So Limbo coming out looking like that with such a unique art style very much like made it stand out to the indie space.
Yeah,
but I played it around the same time as you, and it's like I think I like it a bit more than you, but like even then, I think we're around the same. To me, it's Inside. That's their magnum opus.
Yeah, I gotta get to still, which I might get to soon because I'm playing Persona 3 Reload, and it's fine so far. I'm not far enough in there to be like I want to drop this game, but I'm also
give it time with Persona.
Exactly, but it's also if you're telling me I'm gonna have to wait 20 hours before I'm personified or hooked to this game, I'm not going to be here. I'll tell you that straight up today. I will stop playing before that time. So if in the next 6 to 7 hours, because I think I'm like 5+ hours in right now, if I'm about in the 10 to 12 hour mark and I'm still just like, it's not like I'm not even disliking it. Like I'm liking what I'm playing, but there's nothing right now. If this is the loop for the next 70 hours, I'm out. Like it's just not for me. So
Is there a specific thing that's like not doing it for you?
I was telling Dark for the podcast, which he said it should get better with time, but like these characters, I don't care about right now. My protagonist, like the person I'm playing as, I have no desire to know about this person's life, which I'm only 5 hours in, so maybe it'll expand. But like Tartarus, I think what the dungeon area is called, it's just like it's actually the same exact hallway 100 times. I don't know if it ever expands. Like if it's a spoiler, but it's literally the exact same white walls the entire time I'm running through this thing.
Oh, so cutting in on that. Tartarus is one big dungeon. Every like 20 to 40 floors, it'll change colors.
Okay.
It'll change colors and designs.
Colors. It's still the same dungeon. It's just different colors.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the biggest complaint that P3 has is like, it's an old game, but like, yeah, it's just one big ass tower. P4 fixes it slightly, and then P5 is the one where he really changed up dungeons. It get used to different colors.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so there's nothing like I 100% not like against Persona 3 at all right now, and maybe 3 podcasts from now I'm 60 hours in. I'm just saying like if I'm not feeling this game right now, 10+ hours in, I have 100 other games I would rather play right now. Like I'm dying to play BioShock right now. I don't know if it's because Judas and everything, but like I'm very wanting to play BioShock, and I'm like, why am I forcing myself? If I'm not going to, because it's different, because this isn't a 25-hour game. This is going to be a 90-hour, a 70-hour experience, and it's like, if I'm sitting here 10 hours in, and like I understand the game's going to get better. They all say Persona games don't get really good till 30 plus hours in. But if the loop is the exact loop I'm doing 10 hours in, of doing my school stuff and then going to the dungeon school stuff, like if that's the loop for, okay, well I'm not going to be there for 80 hours. It's just not going to happen.
That's all
unless it really hooks me, it's not going to happen.
I think maybe give it a bit of time to see if like the story or characters eventually get you in. I haven't played Persona 3, so I don't know. But if you still don't feel it, if you don't feel it by the next 5 hours, I'd say, if even.
That's why I said I'm still going to give it
what's rough about
5 to 6 more hours.
About P3 specifically, what's rough is that you don't really get to know a lot about the characters until there's a very integral part of the story where it's like, okay, this is where shit is the fan, and it just keeps going from there.
Wait, when is that?
How many hours deep? Be honest too. Don't be like, oh,
be completely honest.
You're not even there. Okay.
The thing is,
okay. In the original game, how long was it until that moment?
You're talking about 20, 30 hours. That is P3's downside.
We lost fusion!
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna mention. It's completely fair and valid if you drop it. I still suggest, because this is a P3 issue, P4 and P5 are very different. It is still the same loop, that's just the Persona loop how it is. The stories are much more engaging in the other games earlier on. Persona 3 is a very slow burn, and it pays off for that. If you stick with it, it pays off. If it's not for you, try the other games at some point. Don't just drop the series. I still recommend trying the other. And it'll be more engaging. P5 story has you hooked from the beginning, and it's always bombastic and crazy, and P4 is a murder mystery. So yeah.
Because I am happy I'm going through it, but it's just like,
I get the issue.
I know people love the Persona combat also, and maybe like I said, I'm like 5 hours in, so maybe it expands, but like there's nothing right now.
So in terms of the combat does evolve. I'm still getting new abilities now that change. It makes the gameplay really easy because I'm used to it, but like it's a lot of fun. You're still getting new things. So if you're talking about gameplay side, you'll get more things as you keep playing. Story wise, you gotta trust me on this one, but it's gonna be a while. I know what I'm talking about with this one.
Think about it. You could drop it and then be my best friend and play Wolfenstein. You know.
I think the biggest gripe right now is truly the length of, because like it's 100% different to be like 5 to 6 hours into a 25-hour game and be like, oh, I can power through if I really want to. You can't power through 70 hours. You can't.
Yeah.
Like you just physically. When I could play the entirety of BioShock, the entirety of Wolfenstein. What is it? Why am I? Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
Right? No. Yeah. I don't know why it sounded weird. And then like probably the Doom games for the exact same amount of hours.
100%. You could go through all those franchises, and
I would be getting through my backlog. I would be like, and I'm gonna stick with Persona as long as I can. And like I said, I'm not right now. I'm not dropping it in my mind. I'm just like, I'm giving it. I've asked like multiple people. Some dude told me, after 20 hours, if you don't like it, drop it. If I have to play your game for 20 hours, that's
20 hours.
There's a big moment where we'll be like, okay, you know something's about to happen at this point. If at that point, it's not for you. But it's very much a P3 issue. I don't blame you for dropping it if you do.
Yeah, Fusion, I know. I was always interested in your thoughts, but I never, like, this isn't like a gatekeeper thing. I never really saw it as like a franchise you'd be into. Like, I wanted to see you give it a shot, but like, knowing the type of games you like, I don't know if Persona would work for you because it is a slow burn.
P3. At least P3. Maybe P5. Because P5 is like in your face, bro. But P5 is even longer.
I never knew anything about Persona, which is why I wanted to give it a shot. I don't know a single thing about Persona other than they're considered some of the greatest games of all time. And I'm that type of gamer where even if I don't think I'll like the game or know it, I want to at least try them because they're so critically acclaimed, if that makes sense. Where it's like, I'm at least going to give them a shot. But like, it could not, it's not sad, but it's more of I'm playing Persona, I'm somehow craving Yakuza. Or Yakuza, however they pronounce it. I'm just like, I'm more of like, that just seems like more of the JRPG I would actually like. And like, for me, it's a personal preference thing, but I cannot stand right now that my character does not talk. And it's going to be only me issue, but I just can't do it in Persona where everyone else is talking to me and my guy just I'm just clicking A, nothing happens. It doesn't even show dialogue of my guy saying it technically. And then they're talking back to me like I'm not a real human in this world. Like there's no connection I'm feeling when my character doesn't speak the words.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Fusion,
fair.
I know you've always had a hard time trying to get into the JRPG genre. Which I get. It's a tough genre to get into. I think the one to get you in is Yakuza Like a Dragon. If you ever want to try to, I think that game is phenomenal. I think it's a great entry point into the genre. But
Probably,
of course,
especially because, granted, even Yakuza has that problem where if it's not a story-related cutscene, Ichiban doesn't even talk in the side content. Like it's all text.
It's a majority voiced, I'd say.
It's only if it's main content, like main story content. All the side content, at least past like its tutorial, I think the tutorial is voiced. But once you get into like the grind of the side stuff of Yakuza, it's all dialogue and you selecting A on dialogue options.
Yakuza has that funny thing where like there's like 5 different types of cutscenes, all with like different styles of budgets for each one, which is really funny. You get these like incredible CGI cutscenes, like super high budget, and then it's just text. And like I don't know, I want to see the Fusion JRPG arc, but like it really is just like,
hey bro, I love Final Fantasy VII. I really do. But
7 is amazing. Yeah.
I just for some reason like I don't know. Just so far,
I would say probably Yakuza is better because it is more faster. It is faster.
Persona is definitely the first. Like Persona is as JRPG as it gets. Like truly, right?
Yeah.
Like Persona is like
that's
far out there.
It's the most JRPG of the JRPG.
That's what I mean.
Other
so
than like
that's
Shin
why.
Megami Tensei.
That's why I was kind of scared of them, which is like it's nice to know that I'm 5 hours in and I'm not hating it. I have not been a single experience where I'm hating it. It's more of I could come back to this when I really want to, or like there's nothing right now where it's like I'm hating it, but I'm not loving it. I'm like, this game is way too long for me to sit here and not love it while I'm playing.
What a lot of people do is they take breaks.
Yeah, that's what I do.
It was a game where I felt like because of the calendar system, I could 100% play it over an entire year. Like I could genuinely
you can
chip at it. You know what I
so
mean?
in Persona 5, because of its length, when you go to the like each loading screen, it even tells you take your time, and they genuinely mean that.
Yeah, this is
you
not
can
a game
drop
you
this game and pick it up multiple times.
This is not a game to binge, Fusion. I think you gotta like, from the way you're talking about it, take your time. Like it's not something you should.
I do say though, based on what you're saying, if you don't like P3, which is fair, because every Persona game is kind of like Final Fantasy, where like they're all different. You can just jump in one, so you don't need to know anything about others. Try P5. That seems more up your alley. It's gonna be very in your face. Like there's constantly stuff happening. If not, it's just not for you. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games we all like love, but like isn't for a lot of other people. Like, like we all have different tastes. That's really all it is.
I just don't want to be a Persona hater. Like I don't hate Persona,
You're
but
not
like,
a hater. You're just
Who
like,
cares what
like,
people
oh,
think? It's be you.
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna mention how much like. It's not like we're gonna be talking about Persona 3. It's like I didn't like that game. As long as you don't do that, we're cool.
And that's the weird part. It's like I don't even dislike it. I'm just like I feel like I'm not in the.
It's a slow burn, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a slow burn, and like I said, it's just not. It's not. I shouldn't force myself to play Persona because everyone else likes Persona.
Of course, yeah. I mean, listen, everyone loves like those Telltale games. I can't stand them. Like we all have those things. Moon, you've also been playing Persona 3. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I'm about 10 hours in, so I think I'm probably because you have Speedmaster Dark over here, so I'm probably like the better barometer of what to expect because I just hit that 10-hour mark, and the story is finally starting to pick up just a little bit. But I will completely agree on the Tartarus thing. It is the worst thing about the game, and because I am 36 floors in. And the scenery has changed, but nothing else has changed about it. That grind is still there. What's that?
For reference, I'm on like floor, about to be like on floor 80, I think. It hasn't changed again.
Yeah. So Tartarus is easily the worst thing where I dread having to like fit that into my schedule. Be like, oh, I don't really have anything else I should go do. I guess I'll go grind some more levels in Tartarus because I need money. And so it's like,
well, that's podcast time, baby.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think I would like it.
So I definitely get, but all the regular school stuff is what I'm getting into. But the weirdest thing is, Dark, answer me this. where are the social links for my team members?
Okay,
Are
yeah.
they just
So
part of the team and that they're not separate?
no. So P3 was the first game to introduce the social link feature. So this was them experimenting with it. Like I said, there is a very integral part of the story where something will happen. After that segment is when you get Eidos. Once Eidos is in the party, everybody else opens up. You'll be like, okay, now you
That's
can go
what I
talk to
figured
Yukari.
because I see like articles because I was looking something up and I see them mentioning it's Junpei's social link and Mitsuri's feature link, and I'm like, they're all under just the team's social link right now, and I'm making friends with all these other random ass characters that I don't care about. I'm like, well, okay. They're texting me like, hey, want to hang out? I'm like, okay, but I want to hang out with my team instead.
Yeah, that's the biggest complaint I have as well. But once that event does happen, it really kicks into high gear, and it doesn't stop from there.
Okay.
They should do a Persona 5 style remake like this.
That's what they did. They tried to make this as Persona 5 as possible.
No, I'm saying remake Persona 5 like this.
No,
no, we don't need to. No, stop.
Because at least with Persona 5, at least the dungeons were grindy, yes, in Persona 5, but at least they were all different. They had different puzzles, they had different themes, they had different gameplay elements.
Even
so like every palace
enough.
was different, whereas this one continuous dungeon is just endless hallways.
Buddy, that's Shin Megami Tensei, and like that. Yeah, go
or like the enemies I'm fighting now, like the basic enemies around this dungeon, do the basic enemies ever change?
Yes,
oh yeah,
they change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every
You're not
like
fighting the same things.
I mean, every 5 to 10 levels, all the monsters start changing, and they all have different weaknesses and stuff.
I forget what I'm in like the teens in the Tartarus.
Yeah,
like
once you start in the 20s, have you done the first mini boss yet, like the gatekeeper? Have you done like the gatekeeper boss yet?
Wait, does this game still have you fight like?
I'm on. You should. Yeah. I thought like I've gotten to points where like I think I'm on level 16.
Can't remember where the first gatekeeper.
You fought a mini boss then. There'll be like
I fought.
They'll be like, oh, this is a strong enemy.
I don't know if they're gatekeepers. Yeah.
Those are gatekeepers.
Yeah, there's gatekeepers every few levels, and they're always some of the hardest stuff.
So for reference, by the end of the game, you will need you need to reach the top of the tower, which is like 254.
Yeah.
Like, you have to beat the game by going through 250 walls.
Well, you don't beat the game, but you will have to do it by the end of the game. You have to reach that.
You're selling Fusion off of it.
No, I'm being realistic. I'm not gonna lie to Fusion, but I'm being realistic about what I did.
No, I'm just like, and I'm not trying to hate on the game, but it's just like, what do people love it so much because of the characters? Like, is that truly why? It always scores so high? Because I can't imagine any other game could be like, this is our dungeon system. We're still a 91 on OpenCritic or something.
Yeah, it's the characters and story. And P3 has a really fantastic story and an even better ending. I feel like it's one of the best endings in gaming. Is really up there. That said, you have to sit with it to get to that. This is very much a P3 issue. P4 and 5 are a lot better with it.
Yeah, P5, because what's cool about with P5 is every palace is different with each basically arc of the game. Like the story is broken into arcs where you have like a different bad guy you have to go after. So all their palaces are differently laid out, different game mechanics, different everything. Like no two dungeons in Persona 5 is exactly the same. So that's where they kind of perfected the system.
What I know about you, Fusion, I'd say you really would like P3's story and ending. I feel like it would resonate with you a lot. I just don't know if you. I don't know if you make
endless corridors. But really, because really how I'm getting through it right now is I'm just looking at it as like a grinding money simulator. It's like if I go get all this money, I can go do other stuff.
So it's very like if you played a different version of P3, it's pretty much the same. I already optimized for my route, so I'm just blasting through.
Yeah, you go through the levels pretty quickly. Like
so you can go through the level, and for money, you can go to the cafe. And you get not only do you get money through the cafe Monday through Wednesday during nights, you get courage and charm up, and like my courage and charm is so fucking. And then they made it a lot easier to get academics. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
I'm a sicko. You guys got me excited for Tartarus, because I'm like I could throw on a podcast, relax, get some levels.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Hell yeah! You know what? I'm gonna drop. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna drop.
I was about to say I would have lost my shit.
No, Infinite Wealth is my beloved. This is.
I need to get. I'm getting into Infinite Wealth as soon as I'm done with this.
So okay, Fusion. Here's the thing: if you don't like the game, there's 3 movies that give you this. You're gonna get the same exact experience.
He is not watching the movies.
They're animated movies. They tell you the exact same story. That I've watched the movie. I can tell you. I've seen the ending of the game. It's the exact same.
The guy
You
who
will get the
doesn't
same
watch
experience.
anime is gonna watch the anime movies.
I mean, he's
I'm
playing the
not
anime
even gonna
game.
watch the movies.
It's a
Yeah,
shorter
'cause he's breaking anime.
experience.
It's a
It's a
video
shorter-
game. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
it's the same thing. If you
Well-
really want to see it, that's another option.
Because there is parts of the story that we're not gonna get into, but there's parts of the story early on that like I do like and I'm like interested in, but it's just like it's right now it's the whole time invested versus payoff right now with what I want to do with my video games and just
Yeah.
right now
And
it's
that
not
is
there.
a very old JRPG trope because remember this game was like 2008, 2009. So what they did
2007.
what they did back then is they just padded the hell out of it. You see that in a lot of especially JRPGs. They just pad the hell out of the game to make it as long as possible.
So if you don't see yourself committing to it, because it is a big commitment, and that's totally fair. I say watch. Like if you're still interested in it, even though you're dropping it, I say watch the movies. Those your best option.
Okay, we'll think about the Persona 3
think.
dreams. the Persona,
And then,
the Persona 3 stuff.
I guess
Fusion
moving on from
Wolfenstein
that, I
Fusion
beat
Wolfenstein 2. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I beat Prince of Persia literally like the night before Persona went live, so that was like perfect timing. I blew through that last chapter of it. Very good game. Seems like they kind of want to continue it based off the ending. Like it kind of opens it up for a sequel. And I'm kind of interested. I like Sargon's character for as little as we got from him. He's had enough to get me by. I didn't care about any of the other characters. They had these big dramatic moments. I'm just like, I don't care about you guys.
I mentioned
Yeah,
this
they were
with
good
Wolf.
boss fights.
There's a
They were good boss
possibility. There's a possibility of DLC, but there's this one character that completely vanishes from the story.
Oh yeah. So I hope we see more. I do like this style of game. It was a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Like I'm like, I know Metroidvanias are big maps. This thing is stupidly big. And I completely agree with what you guys said last time with the fast travel system. It was absolute ass.
It's so weird. Like it's like just use the fucking the trees. That's all he had to do.
It would have been so much better. And even it's like fine, you have a teleport system, but why was it so scarce in the most random locations? It's like you set the place up to where you want to go to certain parts of the map, and then you put your teleporters almost nowhere near it. You have to go through like 3 to 4 other sections of the map just to get to where you want to go. So, but overall, the combat is great. I kept saying this to you guys, but Sargon's moveset is literally built. He's built it like a Smash character, a Smash Brothers character.
Oh yeah.
Like just the way
Yeah,
he has
that's why he feels
side
great.
tilts that he has side tilts, he has launchers, he has specials. It's like it was fantastic. I just played it like a Smash Brothers game. So yeah, Sargon's first Smash. Let's get that trending. And yeah, that's about it. I was also gonna play Silent Hill short message, but literally Persona came
You
out.
don't
I'm like,
need
oh,
to.
sorry.
You know,
It's like,
it's. I don't think you'd like it, man. It's not worth it.
I mean, it's only 2 hours. I could probably struggle through that. But
Jet, are you still alive?
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? So yeah,
Almost killed
I'm
that.
yeah, I'm like the only one of the only ones here who hasn't played Persona. So, but I did play another big game this month that I didn't get to in 2023, and that's Baldur's Gate 3. But here's the thing, like I, I did beat the game, but I beat it at the end of Act 2 because I spent like 45 hours in it, and like
I respect it.
yeah,
You're
I
a
enjoyed the
suck
game.
for that, bro.
Yeah, I enjoyed the game a lot. Don't get me wrong. I just wanted to also play other games and like move on to other stuff as well. So after I beat that, I've been playing a little bit of Plague Tale: Innocence. This game is like it's really good. Like the story is nice and the characters and everything. It's a little bit sad, but yeah. Hey, I mean, we've been through a plague before, a pandemic recently, so.
Yeah, but not to the extent.
Yeah, not to the same extent at all. But
I mean, I played that game. I really loved it. Have any of you guys, Fusion Moon? You guys played Innocence, right?
Oh yeah,
I played both. I played both
Yeah,
games.
I love that
Yeah,
entire franchise.
I love Requiem.
I need to play Requiem.
It was
on
so
my
good.
back.
They improved
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, that's because Innocence was amazing. I really loved Innocence, and then like Requiem's even better on man.
Also, I love the ending and the after credits teaser.
Oh my god, that was for Innocence.
No, yeah, no. Requiem has an after credits thing that's kind of really stirs a couple theories.
Ooh, interesting. Ooh. Wait, Jet, are you still playing through it? Like, where are
you? Yeah. So I just just before we started recording, I just ended at chapter 3. So yeah.
Oh, okay, you're still early.
Yeah, you gotta wait.
Yeah,
it's a good time.
Requiem's a great puzzle stealth game.
Amicia. Yeah. I played it in. That's a game I played in French, and it's really sick.
How's the visuals? Innocence looks very good still.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Requiem was amazing.
Yeah, and like Innocence has like on at least Xbox Series X, like they gave it the next gen update, so they upscaled it and made 60 FPS and all. So it is a beautiful game. And other than that, like especially this week, just with like how my work's been going and everything, I've just been really tired when I got home. So I bought the New York Times subscription for like $20, where I got access to like their crosswords, the worlds, and Sudokus. That's been pretty fun actually to just play something chill.
Yeah, we don't play those type of games around here. You're off the podcast.
Mobile gamers are bad.
But that's everything that we've been playing. When you want to get us out of here?
Yeah, let's get out of here. I'm hurting, and I want to go back to Persona. I want to see what's on the next end of this. Whatever I think I'm close to
10 more floors.
10 more floors. Just 10 more floors. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Leave your Nintendo predictions down in the comments section below, and hopefully the Slice of Gaming curse repeats itself, and we get a Nintendo Direct here the next week that we can talk about. Completely rendering this episode meaningless because everything got revealed.
Fun. It's funny.
And I think that is it. Make sure to leave. I already said leave a like, but leave a like again because it's fun. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.